Okay, I am your GM tonight, Chase Schneider, and we are joined here by our lovely guests. Gonna switch over so you can see them. Hey!
We're guests.
Yeah, my guests. Thank you.
Fucking
Our lovely
guests.
cast of players.
I know.
Yeah. Look at this nifty thing right below my frame. What is this? What is this little like box that's like rotating through stuff?
Oh, hey.
Hey.
That little
Gotta rotate it
Love the
30
little
second
section.
interval, 'cause that's what it's set to.
3-second interval.
30.
Oh, 30. Okay.
It's gonna rotate real quick.
You're gonna have to keep your eyes on it.
So, yeah, we're gonna get started here pretty soon. I think that we're just gonna go around the table and see if we have any intros, and then I will give a little summary of what happened last time. Rob, do you have anything to share tonight?
Not necessarily. There's some new bot commands.
Oh.
That line up with all of our new little promo stuff that Alexis did.
Yeah.
So Dice Envy. I can't spell
They're just
envy.
going like crazy on this.
It's addictive, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll have a link, and that uses our affiliate link as well. So when you click on diceenvy.dieprairie.com, it will take you right using our reference link, and we will get recognized by Dice Envy for sending you their way to their awesome dice.
They have great deals, and if you're quick enough, near the beginning of each month, you can get really, really cheap.
What?
dice.
I just love that you're over in my frame.
I'm helping.
I'm
I'm
helping.
helping.
I don't know what's going on over there, but it's nothing good.
I mean, we never know what's going on.
Cassie already afforded this stuff, Alexis. No.
Stop it. Go away. I updated the slideshow. We're fine now.
And thank you,
I just
Smoke,
added
for
a zero.
subscribing
Perfect.
5 months in a row. Woo, woo, woo.
Woo! Woo!
Yeah,
And happy birthday, Smokebeard, actually.
How is it?
birthday.
I wasn't invited.
No one likes you.
Oh.
That's correct.
I wasn't even invited to my own birthday.
That's true.
That's funny. All right, Lex, do you have anything to announce?
There's no Alexis Attempts art this Friday
Oh, that's for good.
because some assholes decided to, have a wedding this weekend.
That's right.
Our bad.
bastards. It's a mistake.
So it's a big celebratory weekend for Dice
those
Priority.
poor souls.
That's right.
They invited us. That was the big mistake.
That's right. That's true.
You think we're disruptive
Be
here?
in our wedding.
We didn't just invite you; we asked you to dress pretty. Too.
That's right.
Yeah, true.
That's right.
I'm going to be in the front row.
You never said I can't show up as a tiefling.
Literally,
Mm-hmm.
I only banned banana suits.
It is
That's right,
open
Charles.
bar, too.
What about banana hammocks?
I literally anything dressed like a banana. That
Matthew just shows up in a
Trees out
banana
back, we
hammock and
can
a
put a
harness.
hammock in.
Matthew, do you have anything to announce?
What?
No, I'm all good. Actually, I do. So on Sunday, 7 p.m. Central, if I remember
Yes.
correctly, the Urban Shadows, Juno,
He's 8 p.m. Central.
8 p.m. Central on Variant Rolls, Urban Shadows, which is an absolutely insanely good series where I play a horrible, horrible ghost named Peter Poindexter. Season 2 starts this upcoming Sunday, and it's Juno, Darkness Beckons. And it's not great. It's not going to be good. Nothing in that show, but it's very well done. And so if you like inter-character drama and really sinister developments, it's the show for you. So catch it on Variant Rolls. I'll be on it.
He plays a ghost that is just, angry and not great.
And ferociously powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And very
Probably
quickly will be a villain.
Yeah, will be a villain very soon, unfortunately, and I will have to, live with that.
And create a new character.
Yep, because that's how Urban Shadows works. You corrupt, and then you turn into a villain.
Your character becomes an NPC.
So,
And then you'll have to deal with the villain you made.
Yep. It's not going to be great. That's it, though. That's my thing.
So we do
So
have Ghost of the
good.
Machine, too, right?
That's
Huh?
yes, basically. Just wait until Gilly is pissed off at all of you, and she, I'm just kidding.
So, and you can see that all of our stuff is doing things on that little box down there
Woo.
that you can see. I think I'm pointing the right direction. I make no promises.
Remember if it's an
No,
animal
point towards the
helper?
closet.
Yeah, so we got Animal
So sweet.
Helper. You can go see our podcast.
Use
Did
our
you put it in for 300 seconds now? Is that why this is taking forever to change?
Yeah, it changes.
Yeah.
It's
Got
longer
it.
now.
It's a rotation.
Perfect. Yeah, there. I won't make promises. We'll move along.
You have any announcements, John?
I do not.
Glad to have you again.
Happy to be
It's a
here.
nice shirt you got there.
Right?
It's pretty
Wonder where you
fancy
got
shirt.
it.
Where'd you get it?
I'm going to mispronounce the name, so I'm going to let you say
So
that.
nerdware?
So nerdware. Yeah, check us out. Merch link in the chat. We're also going to be doing a giveaway tonight of the Age Systems Companion book by Green Ronin. So I think that thing
It
will
is
be
open.
Yeah. So if I do this,
Exclamation point ambush.
yeah, I'm not actually typing in anything. Oh no! Why is the caps lock on? Give away. There we go. So yeah, type exclamation point ambush. It's saying stunt.
I got it. Hold on.
Hold on.
I changed what it was, but I forgot to change the name.
It's all good. So don't type that. Type exclamation ambush. Yeah. So while he fixes that, I think. Oh, one last thing. Check out. We have all of our videos, or a lot of our videos up on YouTube.
Yep.
It's pretty sweet. Check them out. All right. I'm going to do an intro video, and then we will recap what happened in the last episode. So get ready to rumble. And we are back. So, where we last left our group of misfit freelancers, they had traveled to the planet of Rajima. They are looking to track down a quarry or a bounty by the name of Durzo Rod, who was wanted in the murder of a senator's son. After a harrowing fight aboard a customs corvette with some space pirates that were masquerading as officials, the adventurers were victorious and received a monetary reward for saving a bunch of innocent customs officials. They, due to Dekiri's expert piloting, arrived at the station several days early and used about 10 days of downtime not only to perform research, to do training, to observe and scout out the station, but in some downtime between sessions, which you can catch on our Discord, they also did some shopping to prepare for the inevitable conflict. So, adventurers, you find yourselves on the space station, transfer station 001, in orbit around the planet of Rajima. You know that the flight that Durzo is arriving on will be arriving in approximately 2 hours. So if there's any last minute preparations that you need to do, now would be the time to do it.
Oh boy.
What would you wish to do, adventurers?
We will probably be checking our armor and checking my hammer. Newly upgraded.
Mm-hmm.
making sure my shield is up to snuff and that everything's nice and shiny, polished, and ready to go.
Understood.
Like to fuck the plot.
Okay. Is that Dekiri's character's new name?
Nickname?
The plot?
The plot. What a plot.
Is that what the kids are calling it now?
I would like to probably 2 things,
Okay.
but we should probably talk as a group is the one thing about what our actual plan is.
Go for it.
So we've got some intel on the guy. We've got some intel on the layout of the station and everything. We know there will be civilians around. We know we need to take this guy alive. So my thought is we get... Oh, by the way, I passed out the comms devices that I've procured. They're all encrypted, and they're real discreet. They fit in your ear. They've got a range of 5 miles.
Ears?
You
What,
can
the
put
comms system fits in your ear.
She doesn't have them. She can just put them
Oh,
like
well, you know.
basically like
Grow
a
an
little,
ear and put it in there.
like a pore or like an abscess, a fistule.
Sound
A fistule.
cage.
There's specialized one for tack, right? Because so he won't
You
eat it.
basically
Like just a ball or something that just
Yeah, just-
goes inside.
Like weak to Sonic.
Not anymore.
Oh, okay.
That was the
It
last
was.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the little eels on the side of his head, like just kind of opens its mouth and pulls it into the colony.
Fun. So they got a range of 5 miles, and it's 100 times that in space. So on the space station right now, it'll reach the whole station. And so I was thinking we could have Dekiri walk up, and I could Cyrano de Bergerac in her ear.
Care to explain that for the peasants at home that don't understand what that is?
You mean you?
I recognized one of those words.
Ear?
Yeah.
Just kind of guide Dekiri through sort of conversing and sort of trying to convince our Mark to come to a more secluded area with her. An area of our choosing where we will be set up. And then we can hopefully... I got this fancy stun grenade, maybe that'll work.
That would definitely be
How
effective.
easy is it to hack cybernetics?
It varies. It can be difficult. A lot of them can like have provisions against it.
Do you need direct contact, or could you do it
With some specialized equipment, you can do it remotely.
And I'm assuming I don't have such specialized equipment,
Not on hand, unfortunately.
and I decided to buy guns. This is a question I should have asked like a week ago, but I just thought of it.
If it's
I love tabletop games.
if it's any consolation, you're in a very industrial space station that's really basically there for like a bunch of lithium mines and stuff. Like the equipment that you guys have got, like the thing that made his hammer do better damage is literally meant for excavation equipment. The smoke grenades that she got are actually like site marking grenades. So like one of them is bright orange, one of them is yellow, one of them is green. You were looking at like a kind of like second-hand surveillance drone, like surveying drone that was painted all like black and orange, and you're like,
Nope.
not my style. You actually found like the one arms dealer on the station and got the nicest gun that he had. Everything else was basically like pawn shop level quality. So
I made good choices getting guns.
Mm-hmm.
Next time we will get the things to hack cybernetics.
Sack Hybernetics.
Hack
Sack
cybernetics.
Mac side. Never mind. Mac library.
Moving along.
Right.
So, never mind. Droogle has no ideas.
Okay.
But I have a gun.
Nice gun.
So,
Didn't we have information about his dating app?
Yes.
he just kind of goes for whatever was the info that we got.
Any docking bay in
Women.
a solar storm.
Was it all women or primarily women?
Primarily 99.9% women.
Okay.
You can't tell if the couple times that he swiped on not
Oh,
women
that's
was
right. He
because he
did
was,
swipe.
but he might have just been drunk at the time. You don't know.
Yeah, or.
Yeah.
Percentages
So-
are high.
So, yeah, he tends to swipe right on a lot of variety of women. So, also, you know, his whole gang is into cybernetics. So, our lovely Dakiri here is both a woman and has cybernetics.
This is true.
Do we think he will be more cautious?
I think it depends on our approach. And of course, I think he's going to be cautious. He seems to be on the lam. So,
But where's the best place but to hide with a woman or a partner?
So, basically what I'm thinking is there's kind of two routes to go with this particular type of plan. We could either try to provide you as like as just some rando woman, or we could say that we could try to give you like those gang tattoos and try to pass you off as a member of the gang who happens to see him or wants to help him out or something.
You do know that he was here going to meet up and stay with his cousin Brawl.
Right. So
I'm just
you
wondering.
could just say you're a friend of Brawl's.
I was wondering if we could just hack the app and make a match. Set up a rendezvous.
Hot singles in your area.
Yeah.
Maybe it triggers whenever he's near someone that he swiped right on.
Let's try that. That would set you in a little easier rather than just a rando woman in the hangar.
And that gets you away from people, more secluded area.
Okay. So it's not even necessarily hacking. You literally can like just in the couple hours, like the hour that you have, you can create a new account and basically DM him, "Hey baby, wants."
Yeah.
Let's not.
Oh my god.
Where's
You
that
have to
going?
you have to role
Chase?
play it out.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
Well, you wouldn't know.
Slide
that-
into those DMs.
Slide
Make
into
this
those
weird
DMs.
at work.
Yeah, let's make this weird.
Yeah, real weird.
It's Chase's specialty.
I can already smell the weird.
So you guys are going to. So just to recap, you're going to set an up account on the dating site that he likes. I think it was called Kindling.
Yeah.
And you were going to basically try to set up a rendezvous on the station.
Okay.
Go for it. Okay, I want you to roll me a communication.
It's really going
Well-
for me.
Cassie can do it.
So you hand her the terminal.
Yep.
Hence the
I'm like,
reference.
here, I got this
Yeah.
shit.
Hey, just point of order, absolutely apropos to nothing. I actually have a focus in illusions now because I'm an expert at level.
Excellent.
I have an intelligence
Nice.
focus illusions, just in case it comes up.
Nice.
Cool.
Okay.
Very mysterious and powerful.
I'm doing communication.
All right.
12.
What are you doing?
She's basically
Communicating.
setting up
ABB.
She's setting up his profile
All the
and
emojis.
crafting the message to Durzo to lure him into this honeypot. that you
We
guys
were
are
going to
setting
try to set it up so that it looked like it was already somebody he had swiped right on.
Right.
Oh, that's what you're gonna do. Okay, well then.
That's why he was.
Oh, that's
that's
So
what
he
Sean
was
talking
expecting
about.
So it's
And-
catfishing.
Oh, well then.
Yeah, catfishing.
Then Drugel.
Basically.
Yeah,
Drugel, I'm
literally.
gonna need you to roll me a.
With sinister intent.
This actually gets a little bit more interesting.
It's not good.
Drugel, let me pull this up. real quick.
But using an image of Takiri, not like
the
some
real
random account.
horror. The real
So we have
horror
to
in
hack
space
into
is
someone
us.
else's account.
You are.
Change their image.
Are we the
That's
bangs?
true.
And have a whole, oh buddy.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
All right, so
Great.
you are
Or
going to make me.
easier is we hack into his account and swipe right on the profile we made.
They're both equally difficult, actually. I
But
would
one
say.
affects fewer people.
Alright, first, if you could roll me, whichever way you're doing it, first I need you to roll me a intelligence security Actually, for intelligence technology.
It is a slight
And remember the
plus
+1 from your hacking computer.
Slightly.
Yep. So if I fail an intelligence technology check, you can re-roll it. So let's see what happens, guys. Ooh, buddy, that's not great. So that's 15, 17? No, 10, 12.
I was gonna say.
Not
Not great.
I can't
39.
I can't do math. So I can re-roll this if I failed it. I just have to know that I failed it. So I roll 2 2s and a 1, plus 5, plus 2. Because I get an extra for technology and extra for hacking.
You have a +1 from hacking and a +2 from technology, right?
How do I have a plus 2 from technology?
So
focus adds a
it's your
+2.
intelligence plus your +2 for any
So
focus.
you'd have +7. to
Oh,
start
that's
out.
a plus 2? I've been adding it as a plus 1. What is wrong with everything I'm doing? 13.
13.
So if that fails, I can roll again because I'm an expert hacker.
I think you're gonna need to roll again.
Okay.
Hacking.
All right, here
Hacking
we
in
go.
progress. Hacker.
At first you feel
I'm gonna literally play a hacker in every
Oh,
game.
that is so much better. It's 2 5s and a 4 plus a bunch of numbers.
Well,
So
that's a
10,
stunt.
14
It is a stunt.
plus 5. Is it a stunt?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Oh, wait,
get
it's a stunt. Okay. 15,
It's been a whole week.
19,
We don't know how to play.
16, 17, 18.
I feel like this is how Drugel's hacking.
yeah, pretty much.
Throwing extra limbs.
She's just got her laptop out. You guys are like set up at like a local coffee
19,
shop, you know, just kind of
20,
hanging out with your
22.
guns.
So
Well, you know it
22.
goes faster when you hack with 4 sets
people,
of hands. Or 2 sets of hands.
I would say
and one
use
set.
infiltration stunts on this one, Drugel.
Coma waters. Coma waters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Infiltration.
Calm the waters.
Sure in the water.
Calm the waters.
Is that like anything like calm your tits?
Yeah, calm the waters.
Yeah,
calms
it's calm the
churn.
water.
Okay.
Calm the pseudopods.
No, we
Calm,
need more churn.
calm your pseudopods.
More turn.
More
Okay.
churn.
Give me a hot second. So 22 is my total now
That's a
because I
pretty good total.
re-rolled. And I'm adding the appropriate number now.
I'm proud of you.
Christ. Has nothing to do with this. Alright. So I've got my infiltration stunts. So when I hack and do these things, I also get extra information.
This one wasn't like really like an information gathering
That's
check.
fine.
Yeah, this
I
is
just-
yeah.
Things I have going on.
How many stunt points do you have to calm the waters with?
5.
That's nice.
Water's calm.
That's very good.
Am I calming the waters? Is that what I'm doing?
If you want, I mean, there's some points to use. I recommend like splurging them on.
Oh,
Don't
Charles,
listen to
stop
him.
it.
Just a shadow looks good.
Okay.
He lied.
Yeah, that's right. He's a human. He lies.
Lies, yes. So do we have the same turn that we had last game? Right?
No, it resets at every session.
Every session it
Every
resets.
adventure,
So
yeah.
we're back to 0 turn?
Yeah, but you
Oh,
earn some
okay.
from. But you will earn some by spending turn, or by spending whatever.
Right.
Spending stunt points.
Spending
Where you're going.
stuff points. Yeah. Overcoming adversity,
Okay.
doing anything,
Speaking.
speaking, being a
Making
potato.
choices.
Yeah,
Drinking.
choosing
all
wrong.
Breathing. Existing.
Asking.
what are
Contemplating
you
your
doing, Liz?
existence.
Yep. Give me
Juggling.
one more
Juggling your
second.
dice.
You can always use the core one
Recover your turn.
when you can't think of it.
So he can't grab you. Or see
Ooh,
if anything's
yeah,
happened.
there you go. Cover your tracks. That's always good.
Yeah, so I was looking at cover your tracks or fancy meeting you here. To give advantage or whatever the
Oh, nice.
yeah, so if I used all 5 points on fancy meeting you here, could
That would
I
be
pass
perfect.
Yeah,
that
that is
advantage
perfect.
to Dakiri and
Yeah.
Cassie.
Cassie?
Yes, that's
I was
perfect.
thinking Alexis, but I was
Well,
like, that's the wrong name.
The stunt is
Is it
literally
though?
perfect for the situation.
Nice.
You're trying to set up a rendezvous with
Yeah.
the dude, and it's about setting up a rendezvous, like getting the person to show up.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yep, fancy meeting you here. We're
So
gonna
then-
use all 5 of those, straighten it out
Okay.
with my 22.
So at first you're a little bit flummoxed by the CAPTCHA. It thinks that you're a robot. And then it gives you, like, it's the one where, like, it doesn't believe you, and it gives you a more complicated CAPTCHA. And so, but then, like, after you successfully identify all the stop signs, it lets you in.
There's still stop signs in space.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it just because I missed the one with the corner of the stop sign.
Right, yeah.
Because, I don't. Do potatoes see in color?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then, I didn't know if I was colorblind.
I don't know. So you are able to successfully get into whichever one, somebody else's account or his account, and make it appear as if he had already swiped on this person.
Yes.
Changing the photo.
Set up an account, and then get into his account. Swipe right on that
Perfect.
account.
Yep, it wish you exactly.
Rather than
So surreptitious.
hacking some third-party account. That's not a thing.
And you take an appropriate.
Consent.
So
Yeah.
so Sean, I need you to give me like the curious, most sensual. Like you got to roll me a communication.
What are
Thought
these
I was
hands?
doing
He's taking a picture. You guys are putting a profile picture, and she's got to look like alluring, doesn't she?
Right.
Instead of like getting
What are
like.
you saying? You say I gotta work at it?
I coach her.
I know.
Can I coach her?
No,
He's trying-
I mean, yeah, like,
Coach?
she's trying.
Yeah. Well,
You're attractive. You
yeah.
can coach, right?
I will show.
Yeah.
I was like, listen, getting by on your looks is easy when you're pretty.
So you roll a check as well,
Literally
and if
just
you succeed
like
on the
a
test,
picture.
you get to add to your stunt.
What
Communication?
kind of test is this?
This is, I would say, communication, like
Seduction?
seduction.
Maybe
Sure,
there
yeah.
is a seduction.
Seduction.
I don't have seduction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't
really
matter.
Seduction wasn't an option.
I think it's in the.
I think it is
following.
one of
Is
the
it?
focuses, yeah.
Why
Yeah.
doesn't Frugal have seduction? It's a specific focus.
I rolled like shit. 9.
9.
I rolled an 11.
You're not used. You roll
Well, unless
11.
even less if it's seduction, not deception.
Yeah.
It's okay, but you have the
11.
come hither
Yeah.
turn
Feature.
creating
Yeah.
feature.
Yeah, it's all good. So you feel like it's not the best work, but Durzo seemed pretty thirsty. Like the lighting is not quite right.
I was
you
kind
know.
of shrugging, like, I'll be honest, I don't even have to try.
Her hair's got a little but it's all good.
You know those people that no matter what angle they take a photo at, they look good? That's me.
All right. So you guys feel pretty well, and then he replies back.
Okay.
You can tell that he's basically within the solar system. They're taxiing at sublight speed to the station. He'll be here in 45 minutes.
So
It is a catfish, Arix, since someone asked.
So is this some of the first communications I've seen between the ship incoming
That's
and
exactly
the
it.
station?
Yeah, like they arrived and they
It's a
basically
it's a
they
variation
pinged
on
to the
that,
station.
for sure.
You would have seen that actually on your notifications, like, oh, they pinged to the station. They've arrived safely in the system. ETA 1 hour, and then 15 minutes later he gets the response, like, hey baby.
It's a catfish with malicious intent.
That's right. It really is.
There's got to be a song like, we're catfishing with malicious intent.
That's the song. Can somebody
Right
clip
there,
that?
you
Somebody clip that.
we're in your
DMs.
DMs. We're up to something. Surreptitious motives.
Exactly.
The
So-
only way to not kill this guy is to try and.
So what are you guys gonna do? You have 45 minutes left.
So we set up a meeting, a rendezvous.
Yeah, so you know that there's some like basic. So basically, in this transfer station, they don't really expect people to stay long term. There's like a set of motels that are like capsule motels. So like you don't really stand in them. They're just like you can get like a double wide one that you basically have to lay down in. You could rent one of those if you wanted to like.
I will
completely
say,
God.
I
Hey,
mean,
baby.
I will say, as long as it's a space of so-so, I can make it look like anything we want.
find a cargo like a storage closet.
There we go.
Cargo container.
And we can put
That makes it easy.
this fancy stun grenade in there.
Full of arachnids.
I mean, could we park the ship somewhere?
I can't do the whole ship.
Also, our ship is inside a bigger ship right now.
Yeah.
It's the Russian
Ships
nesting
within
doll ship.
ships.
Ships
all the way down.
We'd have to like reveal our ship by having it leave the hangar, the other ship right now, in order for that to be a thing.
How are we transporting him?
In our ship.
To the ship.
Have you met Tack?
Okay.
And we
Tech is
all
all of a sudden
four
like
arms.
3 feet taller than normal.
Thank
If I
you,
hide
Deep,
stuff
naming.
within myself,
Good
do I
seeing
get
you.
bigger?
Yeah.
Because I'm increasing my mass?
You just get thicker. Thick.
Thick.
I can do 4 square yards.
Okay, so like a 12 feet. You could do a decent sized room.
Yeah.
So if you guys are able to find like literally just like a storage bay,
And
So-
tell him that's where it is.
roll me. Would you guys like to track down this storage bay?
I mean,
Uh,
we already
I can
talked
search
last
for
week
it.
that
Blueprints
we
of
have
the
Yeah, the
blueprints
blueprints. Yeah, you
Oh,
find one
yeah.
easily.
station.
Yeah, you do.
You showed us the map.
Perfect. You
So
find one
we-
easily.
So we'd be able to find a space that's around that size
Yeah,
that
you-
you can set up in and prepare with.
You find a maintenance hangar actually that has a couple of ships in it, but little activity. It's between shifts, so it would be nice and discreet.
And would I have enough information necessary just as a backup in case he doesn't go straight there to intercept him as just saying that I'm his cousin's buddy? And I'm
You could
picking it up
try.
to
I mean,
not alert
If you felt like
suspicion.
something was looking shady, you could try to pull that as a plan B.
Alright, and so in our research that we did this whole week in advance, right, we would have gotten enough information about
Yeah.
him and his cousin and everything
Yeah.
for me to bluff my way through knowing him?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I need to know.
Okay.
So that's my backup.
Alrighty. So you find like basically a small maintenance area with some ships in it that is pretty much abandoned right now, and you can disguise it to look like like anything.
Yeah. I will wait till he gets closer because it does take some energy to maintain.
Okay.
I already rolled it.
You guys have roughly 30 minutes left. You found the space. You feel like sufficiently good about it.
Yeah. What am I making this look like?
An apartment, studio apartment.
A fuck pad.
I know just the look.
Yeah, you would.
You.
I'm pretty sure the same kind of look you would go for in
Put
terms
my
of a
hands
fuck
together.
pad is similar to what he would expect.
So, are there cameras in like all the common areas?
Mhm.
So I would have hacked into that system so that we could watch as he came across, so that we knew he was heading the right direction.
All right. Roll me another security test.
Now that I know
I'm
that
doing
he
it
had
closer,
two,
but I can
not
make
one.
it last as long as I want just by spending.
Ooh.
But I said I was doing it.
I guess that is another stunt, right?
Technically,
Just
as long
with
as you
one
pass the target
point.
number, yeah.
Yeah, so 6, 7, 8,
And I did
plus
stuff.
5, 6, 7, 8, 16.
16. Yeah, you're able to basically just tap into the camera feed. You can't like control them or anything, but you're able to see what's being transmitted by the cameras.
And then I will reduce the turn by 1 with my stunt points.
Thank you.
Would you like us to stay inside the container so that we can grab him? Or when does the grabbing come?
After the stun grenade goes off.
When
How
he's-
big is the radius on the stun grenade?
I think it's like 5 meters or something.
5 meters.
15 feet.
Okay,
I'll be right back.
so larger than the room is.
Yeah, it'll fill the room.
Okay,
Won't go through walls.
so we'd have to basically set it up so that the moment he's inside the room before the door closes, or without letting the door lock, we'd have to set the stun grenade off and then rush in.
Wonder if you could just be in there with it. Nothing back
What's the
there.
DC? What's the not DC? What's the TN?
check.
The target number on the.
It's for me to know.
Well, what kind of check to resist it?
It's
I know,
it's
isn't
a
it the
stamina.
stamina?
It's a stamina tolerance test.
Okay.
And I don't get to know that because I bought it?
It's TN15.
Okay.
What do we do if he's not alone?
Kill his friends.
We stun them all.
So
We can.
you were
Put the
gonna
stun
describe
grenade in
the
the crowd,
space
I
and
guess.
Interrupted you.
That's alright.
I don't know.
I gotta wait till he's closer anyway.
I have
Will
very
It's
high
alright.
stamina intolerance.
If he's not alone, doesn't go straight to the room, then I'll try to intercept. If that fails, I'll drop the stun grenade and run and set it off.
We might be able to set it off.
Yeah.
We're more resistant to that type of thing.
Okay.
Oh god, the ultimate catfish. He like goes into the front pad and there's a colony of worms.
Just from the stun grenade. Boom.
Oh,
Worms,
no.
not quite catfish, but it's worms.
Yeah.
Well, we can set it on a timer.
Hey, he's
right?
bait.
It's
huh?
the bait.
That's right. That's
Oh God.
Not a long
Oh
time.
God.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
do
yeah.
go fishing with worms, so.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah. Correct.
Are we ready? Is he on his way? What's going on?
Sure, I was going to say there's about 15 minutes until the thing arrives, until the ship arrives.
How exactly do we detonate this
You
grenade?
hit a button on it and you roll it in there. You can like hold the button and make it go like up to like 10 seconds. It's like a grenade.
All right. I'm gonna hand tack the grenade, and then we set up a code word for when I say it. He rolls it in and sets it off.
Okay.
I'll stand outside and look like I'm a homeless person with no job.
That's easy.
So,
Yeah.
so the plan will be, just in case he doesn't go straight to where we want him to, or if he's like with somebody and wants to veer off, we'll be waiting nearby, at least me and Tack, if no one else. But we should wait nearby the hangar
Okay.
where he's going to disembark.
Okay.
Tack will be a bit further away than I will.
I'm not.
I think, right?
Very.
Not very far away.
I can't think of the word.
Subtle.
Subtle.
Nondescript.
Right. You're not very nondescript.
So he can
I
sit
stand out a bit.
Right.
So how far is this space from the docking bay of the
5-minute walk.
5-minute walk? Then Tack and I can be in another supply closet between here and there. So
Sure.
2.5
There's
minutes
a
between
fuel.
the two.
There's a fuel depot nearby.
No, I was saying Tack needs to be near me with the stun grenade in case he doesn't even.
You
In
feel
case shit
pretty.
goes
You feel
south
pretty
before we
confident that
even
he's
leave.
going to go to the room that you guys have set up.
We do.
Yeah, like
I
he's
don't need to
Succeeded. We
Okay.
succeeded on our tests.
exactly. He's actively messaging like, "Hey, baby, want some?"
wait.
Okay,
Yeah,
alright.
exactly.
And we can avoid all the
Well,
backups
yeah.
for our backups.
We'll hang out close to
Exactly.
the
Yeah,
room.
there's such a
Yeah.
thing as over planning.
Hey,
Yeah.
well, you know,
So
Right.
I'm out of the main
we've been
space.
penalized for our decisions before.
Yep, I'm good at that. Yeah.
So I'm not like in a hallway being ostentatiously a potato.
Correct. Yeah. So who is going to be in the disguised fuck pad? Waiting for him.
Well, I think I kind of have to be.
Yeah.
I think you do too.
Matthew, do you have to be?
I don't have to be in the area.
Okay. You get an alert over the comms that well, not an alert over the comms. You get an alert on your thing that the ship is docked. You've set up alerts like, hey, notify me when the status of the ship changes. Anyone who is standing near the docking bay or docking area sees a multitude of people disembark from the ship. Mostly Sarakan and half Sarakan, but you see Dracelite, you see a few
Oh, there's
other.
more of me.
More potatoes.
You
More
see
potato-
a few other
potato-
species.
potato
And then towards the back of the crowd comes a group of 4 pretty surly-looking
Appreciate it.
Sarakan and one half Sarakan. So the Sarakan being these green-skinned reptilian creatures, mostly humanoid-looking, normally don't have hair. You can see these ones are done up with a series of tattoos. Most of them are sporting prosthetic limbs. From what you can see, they're very surreptitious. Not surreptitious. They're very obvious, opposite of surreptitious. They're wearing black leathers and with studs on the outfits and bright decals and stuff and neon on their outfits. And you can see 4 of them come off of the ship, kind of walking around looking like they own the place. One of which, if you're watching through your hand terminal, is clearly Durzo Rod. The facial recognition that you set up dings immediately and tags him. You can see him kind of conferring with his cohorts, and they pull up their terminals and they kind of gesture in the direction of where the fuck pad is. And they start to walk that direction. After...
I convey the information to my patriots.
Sure.
How many?
How many exactly were there? There were 4 and Durzo, or 4
3 and
with
Durzo. 4 with Durzo.
Okay. So
Accepted.
Alrighty. So,
they might not all walk into the room. So if they don't, we're gonna need to make sure that all of them get in the blast of the stun.
So you were in the docking station, you were somewhere nearby, you were in a nearby storage closet, you're in the fuck pad, and you're in the hallway looking like a homeless guy.
Yeah, or like across the way, or just around.
Okay, sure.
Within sprinting distance, but not like on the door or anything.
Perfect. So,
as they get closer, I will conjure my illusion.
excellent.
I did stunt.
Nice.
So it's going to look like a nice dingy, not too dingy, but affordable studio apartment with shag carpeting.
Yeah? What color?
I think like a purple, like a pink, like a really bright kind of purple.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because it's space shag.
Right.
Yeah. That's right.
A couple lava
Shaggy in
lamps.
space.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A couple lava lamps, martini bar, one of those rolling martini
Carts,
bars.
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
The
And,
drink cart.
Is the bed on a turntable?
well, it's a heart-shaped bed,
There it is.
and it's on a
With a
turntable.
mirror in the ceiling.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
A heart-shaped mirror, of course.
That's right,
Yeah,
yeah.
correct. On a and it turns with zebra print sheets.
Yes, that's right.
Perfect.
That's right.
White couch, of course, white leather couch.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course.
And a sexy shoe chair.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
Shoe.
Yeah.
Sure.
In
Yeah.
cheetah print.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
That is the apartment I conjure.
Yep, there it is.
I will use because
you have that map
if they
made,
believe
right?
it's not
In a
real,
whirlpool
I
top.
have
they
it
can
ready, yeah.
contest against the perception check. I will increase the level of it by 2, so it's a DC 15, and I will use the other 3 points to do shielding power to shield myself.
Awesome. So it's a
Nice.
DC 15 to see through the illusion.
DC 15. Yeah.
And it's a perception seeing check to see.
Yeah. If they believe it's not, if they have a reason to believe it's not real.
Okay.
Okay.
So after,
He tries to sit on the couch.
so you're Dakira, you're sitting in basically like this empty storage room with some crates and stuff on the side of it, and then around your eyes it shimmers and turns into the scene that Drake just described. Where like there is a series of crates and like a repulsor lift that's used for hauling cargo is the heart-shaped bed. There is like a stack of other crates on the other side that turns into a shoe. Yeah, the whole thing.
So I try to at least remember where all the
That's right.
actual objects are, so I don't
Right.
ruin the illusion.
Yeah.
Glass table, of course.
That's right. That's
course.
right.
With smudged lines that match the credit card on top
Yeah,
of it.
that's
Just
right.
little pot marks
Yeah.
of credit card, like someone's chalking
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you? Does this create any auditory hallucinations?
It does not.
All right. So I'm assuming one of you would put some kind of sexy music up on your hand terminal to play.
Yeah, that'd be Takiri's.
We assume
Because
that
mine plays ads.
we
at
know what he
EDM.
likes, right?
You just put on EDM.
Yep.
No,
Because
I'm
that's
gonna
what
put on
Takira-
My
whatever he
the
likes.
ads play between every song.
We did a deep dive into his personality and
You know
everything,
that he
so
likes
we
to
know
listen-
what kind of music he
he-
likes.
He likes to listen to Jurahane thrash metal while doing it.
Oh,
There it
jeez.
is. Well, then there's some.
It's
It's
aggressive.
probably in his profile
Strangely,
too.
that works for Dakiri, so
Right?
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
I can work with this.
A guy like this, his profile is sub. Hit me up. That's
Yeah.
it. There's
That's
no.
right. That's right.
After a few minutes, you see, I would say, Drake down the hallway. You see this group of guys kind of wandering past you. They basically try to do the tough man thing, like if you're standing in the hallway, like one of them will like try to shoulder you out of the way.
I'm just like, huh.
Gotcha. You're only a deception.
Yeah, I'm focused in it.
Deception.
I stunted.
Fucking stuff.
So it's 5
He rolled
stunts.
so
Oh my
good.
God.
5 stun
10,
points, you
16,
say.
Oh God.
18.
Gotta come waters at least one.
This is a social, or what is this?
This is a social stunt, yeah, I would say.
So my total is 19.
Yeah. This is or infiltration.
I will.
Calm the what?
I will choose. Infiltration.
Churn the water.
Churn the
No,
water.
stop.
Churn the water.
It's where we don't get any other benefit from the stunt dice except that we increase churn.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
It increases churn more.
That's right. That's right. Instead of added benefits to stunt, we churn and we churn.
All right.
Leroy Jenkins is stunts.
I think actually it's better. Yeah, I'll just reduce the churn from the one that I get by spending the rest,
Okay.
and the rest will be like, there's really nothing that applies here. So yeah, I'll just make sure to reduce the churn. Okay.
Sounds great. So they're thoroughly convinced that you are a drunken homeless person
Perfect.
as they wander by, and you see Durzo kind of gesture to the two, points to either side of the door, and they kind of square up like on either side as if they're waiting for Durzo, and then you can hear him say, "This will only take 5 minutes."
God, he's proud of it. That's what hurts.
So we'll know that now is the time, right? And to do it in a radius that gets all four of them,
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, they're like
because the other three aren't going in.
Yeah, the other three are standing outside the door now, and he's inside. So the door opens, and you can see this very tall, muscular-looking, heavily scarred Sarakin with like half of his face is just shiny metal with a glowing crimson eye. He's got a scar on the left side of his face. And he's wearing leathers and all that. And he just kind of like leans against the door frame and puts his thumb in his belt buckle, like his belt line. And he says, "Sup?"
I just wink. Give the come hither.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's like, "I like it," as he walks into the room.
And it detonates. Yes? No? How does that work?
Well, did you give me the keyword?
Yeah.
To set the
Because
scene,
we're all watching the comms, right?
Alright, yeah.
you're gonna have to like run up to the door. Like there's an empty hallway, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like they're outside the door of this.
Lynn.
Okay. Yeah. So I would say, roll me a accuracy test
Fun.
because you're trying to roll it through the door. So it is a round thing. You like
No.
stick,
It's okay.
No,
stick
it's
your-
fine.
you stick your head out of a door frame and you try to roll it, and they see this. What you see Cassie gave you was actually a Covenant issue, basically stun grenade.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the size of a softball. It's this kind of weird bluish metal with a single glowing red button on it. So you hit the button and you lean out and roll it like a bowling ball down the hallway, and you can hear the as the metal hits on the grating of the floor. What was your
11 total.
11
'Cause
total?
I'm not focused in accuracy, so not great.
Okay.
But I did stunt. But like,
Yes,
what
the
stunts
target.
could I use for this?
General combat.
Just general
Probably,
combat
yeah.
for rolling a grenade. Okay.
Let me check one thing really quick.
Yes.
Look back. It's goddamn.
It's a social stunt.
Oh.
Disruption. No.
Oh, God.
Deception.
Just an apple, guys. Sorry, I
You
dropped
could
it.
take cover.
Let me see. There is a thing here really quick. I would
Go
say
forward,
that
Rod.
you know that you can spend fortune in order to increase a check.
Okay. Then I will spend 3 fortune to increase a check to 4 fortune to increase it to 15 total.
Perfect. So,
Nice.
as you start to release it, you can tell that you're not quite giving it enough oomph, and you don't think that it's going to get there in time. So you basically, on the tail end of it, you put a little bit more into what would be the wrist if you had a wrist, and you send this ball careening down the hallway. The 3 Sarakin guys who are standing on either side of the door, like, kind of go to look at it, and you hear one say, "Boss!" And then a blinding, bright flash of light goes off.
In my mind, one of the worms actually goes with it. To
Yes!
make sure it goes where it needs to
To
go.
make sure they can just go
pushing
back
it
into your
along.
yeah, exactly.
All right.
Yep.
That's why you lost the fortune. 'cause-
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. That's
All right.
in my
So
mind.
good.
That's
For
what
my
happened.
5 stunt points, I
That's
am going
awesome.
to Adrenaline Rush to gain 3 of those fortune back.
Okay.
And then I'm going to Group Tactics to allow, Cassie was the one, you were off to the side too, or no, I'm going to allow Drake to move forward,
Okay.
Nice.
2 meters.
So you see this
Closer
thing
to
happen,
them.
and yeah, start to move forward. All right, I'm gonna roll the tests for each of these guys.
I've got this all.
And let me get a little bit of. While I'm doing this, I'm going to need you all to start rolling the initiative. I'm going to get the checks going.
Hey, be sure to let him know if you stunned him on initiative.
Oh hey, I stunted.
I almost
Christ.
stunted if I had rolled different numbers.
Just the
Fucking.
worst.
God damn it.
Me just ending my own life.
Every single episode.
Um,
Just absolute shit.
initiative is
Dexterity.
Dexterity.
There is an initiative focus, but I don't think any of us have
One
it.
of our fans just messaged me that I look great directly.
Nice.
It was my sister.
Nice.
I was like, there's.
That happened last stream too. So
Don't worry,
It could happen
other
again.
people have told me.
right. Yeah.
That's right. A lot of people
You
tell
know,
you.
it should happen every stream to all of us.
Shit.
No, yeah, I don't care so much about that.
Okay.
Zaddy.
Zaddy. Alrighty. So you see this blinding bright flashlight, and Nikiri, I need you to roll me a Constitution tolerance check.
Oh, I was that close?
Wait, how deep in the? Were you saying deep in the room?
Yeah.
Okay, then you're good. Sorry.
Okay, I mean,
I
I knew the
picturing.
stun was coming. So.
I pictured. Got it. You
Up
playing
right
for
up
it.
against the door.
I want it. Hey, big boy. All right, and you see. As you see,
Yikes, indeed.
this blinding flash of light goes off, and you see two of the Sarakin on the outside of the door start to slump to the ground as they are stunned. And now everyone's initiatives.
They'll die first.
They'll die first. Yeah, just coup de grace. Alrighty. So anyone who had a 20 to 15.
Oh, I had 15.
Alrighty.
So someone brought rope, right? So that we can like.
Yeah, it's.
in game.
Takiri's got the rope.
In game.
I always have it.
Yes to both.
Takiri's got the rope.
Sorry, there
You
was a
said
conversation in
15.
grown-ups
Yep,
today.
yep, there was. There sure was.
15 to 10.
That would be me. I was 11.
13.
11 as well.
Alrighty, I'll let you guys-
Hashtag, or no, exclamation point ambush to enter into the giveaway, folks.
That's right.
Which one of you had? What was your
I had a
stun
1.
It's an ambush.
Alright.
We're doing giveaway. Doing an ambush right now.
It should have been catfish, but you
Yeah,
know, here we
well,
are.
we didn't know.
We decided to be classy.
Ah, Straticus! Welcome, Straticus!
Yay!
Raiders, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you so much.
So hopefully you just got the message about the giveaway.
Oh,
Otherwise,
post
we
it
can put it up
again.
again.
Follow the channel, exclamation point ambush to enter the giveaway, courtesy of Green Ronin.
It really bad timing with my raid on Straticus last night. I raided right at the
Drake.
end.
12.
12?
And we're about to enter into a fight with some pirates
Yeah.
that we catfished
That's right.
on Tinder.
It's happening.
Whatever equivalent is Space Tinder.
Space Tinder.
Raiders?
Alrighty. At the top of the initiative with a 17 is Durzo is
Oh,
going
boy.
first.
Oh, no.
So,
Oh, wow.
Is
does
he
the
stunned?
stun? Who gets stunned?
Two of the guys on the outside of the door go down. Oh, let me put this up on the
Yes.
on the map so you can see what's going
You
on.
have to
Oh.
hide the
Yeah, you'll have to show me how to do that here in a
where
second.
it says present or promo slideshow down at the bottom.
Yeah,
I
You
can
just
have them.
hit the eyeball.
got
and
it.
Hide.
I'll do that.
Okay, he's got it. Never mind.
All right, and then this up here is.
I'm picturing Droogle walking down the hall like this to the music.
Thank you
Aw.
so much. Aww.
Gifted subs.
Oh, did he really? That is
I
awesome.
did.
Welcome.
Thank you, Smokebeard.
Welcome new subs to the channel.
Yeah.
Join our Discord, etc.
And Scrabicus got one of the
Right.
subs.
And subs
Nice.
are automatically entered the giveaway?
No, I think
or
they
no.
have
Not this
it.
Not
time.
this one. Okay.
Not this one.
I'm having giveaway flashbacks.
That's right.
PTSD. No, we shouldn't make jokes.
No.
But we do.
Let me get these guys up here really quick.
Yeah.
Since
Dictator Pinguino. That
Dictator, yeah, penguin. Oh,
that
yeah.
makes me really happy.
I don't know if that's the same as Imperator penguin, but.
I don't know,
Alright.
but that makes me really
Tack,
happy.
you are over here. I will say Cassie is right over
You'd think
here.
that'd be the same person.
Droogle over there.
It's the internet. Anything's possible.
Ikiri is in the fuck pad. Oh, actually, Droogle.
That's about the 5th time you've said that.
I'm just
true,
making it
it's
all
true.
straight for me.
Yikes.
Great.
All right. Does everyone see where they are on the map? I might need to zoom it in just a little bit to give you guys a better picture because you don't need to see like a
Right.
huge
The
amount of map
outliers.
that is like not necessary.
So
Can you
where was
see
the
your
door
way down?
where they were? Where Sirac and Drew goes?
Can you just
So wouldn't
zoom
I
out
be
a
like
touch?
around the corner because I just threw the grenade?
Yeah, I thought you were. You're right here around the corner.
Yeah, attack's right there. Oh, right there.
You're right there because
Oh.
you moved,
Okay.
and then you basically threw it
Threw
around
it around
yeah.
the corner. Got it.
Yep.
Nice.
Got it.
Okay.
And then there's Durzo. Drugel was over here in that other room, like kind of close by.
Where
and then
am I?
Don't forget
You're
to
down
hide.
Cassie,
that.
you're.
Nobody can see this because the.
Okay,
I haven't moved it yet.
Okay.
So do I have line of sight or no?
The map is kind of hard to get everyone on this.
Yeah, we're working on maps,
Yeah.
guys. Give us a
You
hot
there?
second.
Thanks.
That's fine.
This is like
I'm
when
fine where I
Mercer
am,
is
it's fine,
off
'cause I can
screen
move and
doing
shoot.
stuff. All right, now I'm gonna hide. You said what is
Yeah.
it
So
called?
the eyeball next to the promo slideshow
Promo slideshow.
down at the bottom.
I'm gonna uneyeball it. Hey, we can see it now.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh no,
So-
eyeball. I like Jesus.
Durzo is gonna go
I know,
first,
but he.
and as
Oh,
the
no,
as the
eyeball.
thing goes off, he's like, "You're gonna regret crossing Durzo." And from his right arm, a blade slings out from it, and you can hear like this distinct zzz from it as he advances on you.
Kinky.
Hey, don't get hurt.
Yeah.
Hey, don't die.
Hey, don't die. I'm not done with you.
Dodge.
He's gonna charge you.
Okay.
Because that
Kidding.
activate was a minor action, and he's gonna make his attack roll here. Doesn't stun.
Oh boy.
Does a 15.
Oh god,
hit
that's
there.
just it. Yeah.
So he comes running up, and you can see this like sickly double set of blades come out of his forearm as he swings it up at your middle body.
Ow.
We'd gotten all our fortune back from the rest that we took over those like 11
You take
days.
11
Yes.
points of, I would call it slashing damage, as he basically tries to dig this thing into your ribs.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That hurt.
Oh no.
That is Durzo's turn.
Oh no.
Next up is
So,
Dakiri with a 15.
Okay, I think so. Before we talked about Yukori being able to be turned off so that the plasma's not working. Is that still a thing?
Yeah,
All right. So she's going to ready those and attack him back.
perfect. So these things to your hands, and you basically are leaving them in bludgeoning mode and are just punching them with it.
Right. That's a stunt with a 12, 16 plus 5, 21. So I'm assuming that hits.
Wow.
Barely.
Unfortunately, it's a 6 on the stunt die.
Go away.
Oh yeah.
Churn
That's
goes
a
up by
six.
one.
Churn
Six
goes
on the
up.
six.
Up.
Yikes.
I love the churn. Got any more of that churn?
We're only at like 1 right now, I think.
2.
Do I? So it says if your target has lost half or more of their fortune points, but would I even know that?
They haven't.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
I am going to then. I have all my favorites, but this doesn't work for this. I'm going to call a double team and a knock prone.
It's a fucking double team.
That's right.
Actually, I
Supreme.
can call 2 double teams and a knock prone.
Got it.
6, yeah.
And you don't have to be able to see the person to double team with it, right?
I
know you do.
You do.
You're kind of in a room.
So no one else can see him?
No.
I don't want to use lethal blow. That's not going to work.
Whatever you want to do, buddy.
Lightning attack is 3.
Let's do lightning attack.
Go for it, bud.
Let's do that. All right. So I got to roll damage on this, right?
Yeah, you do.
All right. Damage on this one is 10.
All right. 10 points of damage, minusing his toughness.
Attacks with the other hand, not as good. 6 plus 5, 11.
That's that does not hit.
All right,
Are
and
you
then
rolling melee or
Third
with your
attack.
gun?
Melee.
Okay.
you just impaled me.
Because
So
melee
8,
stunts
10,
are
15.
could have disarmed.
So was it 15 to attack, or is the 15? you said
15 to
11?
attack this one.
Okay. So
This
yeah.
is the last attack.
Oh, God, you did
'Cause I had
3
two-
lightning
I did
twice.
2
Yeah.
lightning attacks.
So yeah, that third attack hits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only 6 on that
Or
one.
disarm.
6 points of damage.
Yep.
Alrighty. So like you come in and like he basically comes up and rakes across the front. You quickly dodge back, and your Akori immediately fly to your sides. You punch him in the face as you swing. He brings his armored arm up, and it skids off. And you bring another one low and into his abs. And you can feel as you're hitting him that like underneath his skin, it seems to be like hard, like you're hitting like a sheet of metal.
Okay.
You recognize that he has some kind of subcutaneous body armor.
Okay.
All right, Dakiri, that's your turn. For the flurry of blows. Unless you're going to do anything with your minor action, I apologize.
Yeah, so my minor action is I can actually do that on the move because I have tactical awareness.
Perfect.
Oh, nice.
So I am going to head out past him. So I can move 7.
6, 7. You can get there.
Yep, perfect.
So basically, you springboard off of the illusion of the heart-shaped bed, and you come like basically tumbling out,
Nice.
like you tuck and roll out the door with your elaborate speed. Next up would be Cassie. Cassie, you can hear shouts from the room. You see shortly after the blast, Dakiri comes rolling out. You can see scrapes across the leather on her front.
So that Sarakin and Durzo are the only 2 up, right?
Correct.
The other
Other
2
two are
stunned.
unconscious. Yep.
Okay, so unconscious. So I'm going to, because I also have tactical awareness, I can move and shoot and move. So I'll pop around, and with my
It's kind of like I'll say that's a hallway,
Yeah.
so he's got here.
oh,
Yeah,
it's getting
it's
interesting, isn't it?
Yep. So you can get up to here.
Okay. So I
Doorway.
stop. Where are you putting me?
I'm trying to get you to the doorway. This is the door.
I'm shooting the guy, not
Oh,
Durzo.
sorry. I thought you were
Yeah.
shooting. Sorry. I thought you were shooting Durzo. You're shooting this guy. The Droog out in the hallway.
Right.
Okay.
The person to get past.
Yeah.
So I will just. Yeah, I'll use my Zat.
Okay.
My Zat Nicotel. The stunning pistol.
Perfect.
It's not great. Yeah. Wow. That's real bad. It's an 8. So. Do you want me to use fortune?
Okay.
I said, do I to myself? Yeah.
Okay. How much are you spending? And what are you bringing the test to?
Hey, Chris. Hope your gig went well.
Yeah. So I will spend. Screw it. I guess I'll spend 4 fortune to
Okay.
bring it to a 12.
That does not hit. Oh wait, actually, that hits. Yes, that
Okay.
hits. Sorry.
Cool. Can I move more than one of my dice?
No, you can only move one of your dice.
Just checking. So that doesn't do anything with stunts, but I do manage to hit
Okay.
for a whopping 3 points of stun damage that bypasses any armor and toughness.
Perfect. You rolled a 1 on your dice.
I did.
That's rough. So
It's fine.
you
Only
kind of
one
around the
die,
corner, and you like as it's kind of a crowded hallway. You don't want to shoot Dakiri, who's like bounding down the hallway towards you, or
Right.
Drake. You line up the shot. You see this electronic burst, and he just in the last minute brings up his cybernetic arm, and it kind of flows down his body. Like you can see him tensing up, but it doesn't take him down.
And then I'll dip around the other side, on the back where I was before.
Alrighty.
So right next to Dakiri, but around cover. That is cover, right?
Yeah. I'm saying this is like a thing. This is
Perfect.
a narrow hallway
That's
leading
what
up
I
to
thought.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
To the illusion. All
That's
right.
my turn.
Drugel, you hear shouts and shots coming from the hallway.
I'm running towards Durzo because I think he's the closest to me,
1,
right?
2, 3, 4,
Yep.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What's your speed?
11. So if I can't
11,
get to Durzo,
round
I
up.
just want to interpose myself between him and the door.
You're able to get up there. You're able to get this far
Okay.
with an 11. You round up.
Alrighty.
So you have a clear
then-
line of sight to him.
Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and shoot him with my pistol.
Perfect. Thump, 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 thump.
But I am going to. That's
Love
not
music.
considered
Me
a
too.
melee attack, right? Okay, so that's not a melee attack. So I will just aim. I will
Perfect.
aim specifically for some non-lethal part of him.
Okay. So
Oh, I
you-
should roll dice.
your minor was to move.
Oh yeah, you can't move and
Yeah,
aim. Never
yeah,
mind.
There's no such thing as a move in this system.
Yeah.
Got it. Never mind.
Perfect. So you run up there like.
It's gonna take some getting used to.
Yeah, it does.
Just in time to quit.
Exactly.
Alright.
That's right. That's right.
So
We'll
I
get
did
the hang
not
of it by
stun.
the time we're done.
I
Okay.
did not. So that's 19 plus.
crap.
Oh, wait, hang on.
Nice.
I have to remember all the things here.
If
so
it's a 19, you hit for sure.
There's no
because it's a
crit.
plus 5, right?
But wait, it's
So
higher
10,
than.
16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, so it's 19.
Perfect. You hit him.
Perfect.
And you hit him with your armor-piercing blaster
So the
pistol.
blaster pistol, yeah.
Correct. So you ignore 2 points of his toughness.
I do. And that's 7 points.
7 points of
But
damage.
as I said, I'm specifically going for something that would not, like
Not the
murder him
face.
dead.
Okay.
Not the face, not the head, but like going for a kneecap or an elbow.
you
His
shoot.
blades.
Yeah, exactly. His witch-lock blades. All right, got it.
Meanwhile,
Muppets in space.
So the way that works with like a regular gun or a regular weapon is it increases the target number to hit, right?
Correct, by
When
2.
you're trying to do non-lethal damage.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
Yep. So with your 19, you're able to be like, it really only truly matters for the last hit, you know, but it's important, yeah. And you're to me, you're signaling your intent. Like, I'm trying not to kill him right now.
Yeah.
All right, Droogle, that's your turn. You come up and he turns in his blade, menaces at you. Next up is his Droog's turn, standing out in the
who's
hallway.
stunned or no?
This one is the only one who's not stunned.
Oh.
The ones who are stunned aren't on the map.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple limp forms laying on the ground
Okay.
here. I should probably move the things around on my own map. This guy's going to say, "Boss!" And he takes a minor action and steps back into the room with this guy. And then he sees you over there, Droogle, and he's going to raise, he takes his arms up
Yeah.
like this, and you can see his arms form like a barrel is there, and he's going to shoot at you.
Neato.
Cybernetics.
This is going to end poorly.
Oh no, hot dice! I can't keep it, even though it was really high. It rolled the exact same number.
Great.
That would be a 14 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay,
I mean, I'm not wearing armor. I'm
gotcha.
a big potato.
You take 9 points of damage. It is ballistic damage, as you can hear like a small caliber round come flying out of his arms at you.
Okay. So it doesn't. Toughness doesn't do.
It does.
Okay.
Toughness applies.
Got it.
Yep. Yeah, it's not penetrating or anything.
Got it.
Yep. All right, and that is his turn. That was his move and his major. Next up is Drake's turn.
Okay. With my minor action, I am going to use displacement. I did not stunt, but I did make the power. I'll use my action then to charge, moving 3 squares. 1, 2, 3, or well, 3 is where I guess we'll all end up. So I
Okay,
can't
you're
move.
right there next to the
Right,
Droog.
right here.
Right here.
That is my action. I did not move in a straight line. I stunted, but hold on. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The total is 15.
That hits.
Okay, double team.
Yeah.
Shoot the Droog.
Nice.
Yeah, and we need 2 points for it. Reds.
And I can't switch to my rifle for this. Just because I have the blaster
It's a
pistol.
very sudden thing.
Yeah.
So,
5, 6. That's only an 11 to hit.
The Droog, that
Yeah.
misses the Droog.
Okay.
So 12 points of armor piercing damage.
Good deal.
6 to the 4. That is my turn. That is my minor. That is my action.
Got it. So you come up and the shot, like the Droog, his attention is focused on Droogle, who, like, he turns his head slightly to look at you. Droogle fires off a shot. He flinches, and you bring your lightsaber up and you skim it right across his ribs. You can see, like, the exposed lattice work of metal underneath his skin. And you do a significant amount of damage to him, but he is still up.
All right.
Perfect. And you said, what does the effect of your displacement do?
+2 to my defenses against melee, +5 against range.
Oh.
Once they miss, at the start of their turn, they can make a perception check.
To see you. Yeah, for free.
Yeah,
Got
that's
it.
displacement. Yeah.
Exactly. So you can see basically two of Drake bursting into the room and assaulting this Droog. Alrighty. Next up, Tack. It is your turn. At the bottom with an 11, I think.
We will move up our 10 behind Drake,
Alright.
Combat wise.
and then I will charge and go base to base with Durzo, where the grating is.
Yep. Perfect.
And then
Thump, 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 thump. Behind you.
and then make an attack on him to try to. Sorry.
Good
I
stuff.
guess I'm done. I'm done here.
It's out of hit.
We don't need you anymore.
And then to try to make it to not kill him.
Okay.
So it's a higher test. 5, 6, 10. 15.
If you're trying to knock him unconscious, that will not work.
Okay. I will spend 2 fortune to make it a 2.
So what will that total be?
16?
That would not work.
Okay. Never mind. That's it.
So he runs up and you start to bring your hammer down, and you can see, like, if you continue your swing, you're going to bring it into a vital area, and you deflect it at the last minute and smash one of the crates that's next to him as you try not to crush his head in with your powerful blow.
Then I will just turtle up behind my shield.
Gotcha. Alrighty. Next up, back at the top of the turn, it is Durzo. Durzo says, "Come on, you motherfuckers, let's dance."
He's such a bro.
We already were.
We are not good at dancing.
You can see as a minor action, he reaches onto his belt and he pulls up what appears to be some kind of inhaler. He puts it to his mouth and you can see this, like, sickly-looking black smoke come out of his mouth and nose as his remaining living eye turns a bright red, and he extends his arm at you and lightning cackles out from it.
There it is.
No.
All right, I need.
Can we kill him now?
No.
Let's see.
But probably wasn't set up.
Yeah.
Probably actually did it.
Yeah.
So I need Tack, Drake. It's 2 meters wide and 8 meters long. Tack, Drake, and Droogle. I need you to make me dexterity. No, sorry, not dexterity. Constitution tolerance tests.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
thank God.
It is an alien. I didn't realize that. Cool.
Constitution and then tolerance is like a focus.
If you have that focus,
Okay.
yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Constitution. Okay.
All right, what's your totals?
16.
16,
15.
15,
11.
11. I would say that you two take. Hold on. You both take 7 points of penetrating lightning damage.
Okay.
And you take 15 points of penetrating lightning damage through roll.
I'm down.
So does that go past our toughness too?
That
Or
does go
just
past
our-
your toughness.
So toughness.
How many
all of
points
it.
of toughness?
It's penetrating all.
Oh.
So
I'm
Droogle,
0.
you can spend. How many points past 0 are you?
I'm 0.
At 0.
I am at 0. I have
Okay.
15 points.
This is perfect. So you can spend a D6, or you can take on a condition. You can take on the injured condition. You spend a D6 to negate damage. Since you are at 0, then you are going to automatically succeed by doing so. So you won't be taken out of the fight by basically taking on a negative condition. Does that make sense?
Yes.
If you didn't have just 0, if it wasn't like a net null, the result of the d6 would have to be compared to how much damage you had left.
So I am now wounded
You
or
are
injured.
You are what is called injured.
Okay.
You have a -1 penalty to all tests, and you are fatigued. Fatigued means you cannot take the run or charge action.
Wow.
You can mark both of those. But you stay at 15.
But I stay at 15.
No, you're at like 1 now. Or
Oh.
0.
I thought
like
it
you're
negates
1.
damage.
This is basically like not to. So anything in the negative, it tries to do it. And if there's any damage left at the end, then you're down or you're taken out. So lightning like surges forth from his living hand and washes over you. You feel it pour through, and I would say, Drake, that you recognize this exactly for what it is. All right, that is Durzo's turn with his minor and his major actions.
Bottled lightning.
Apparently.
Yep.
All right, next up, Dikiri. You hear, you can see splaying against the hallway wall this like bright blue flash, and your nose can smell the unmistakable smell of burning hair from the hallway.
I probably don't know what happened with Trugo though, right?
No, you don't. You're out in the hallway. You
We don't
just
have comms,
see
so we
this.
can
Does
hear
it smell like
scream.
baked
Yeah, you
potato?
can
Hear them
screams.
scream, though.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's actually.
Potatoes don't actually scream. We just slowly start to cook.
Oh.
It's the sound of the air escaping the steam.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't
That's
poke
right.
holes in it with a fork.
You
with
know
a
how
fork
like
before you
potatoes
go.
or sausages make
Yeah.
that like high hissing,
Yeah.
almost
That's right.
scream noise?
So that's
Yeah.
what we're hearing. You can
Yeah.
hear it over the comms.
All right, I'm gonna move up
That's funny.
again the 5 diagonal up to that wall.
Right here.
Yeah, less
no,
happy
the,
as a
the
potato
opposite
right now.
wall. Sorry,
Yeah.
the
Next to the
closer to
green dot.
Matt. One more over to the left.
Nope, to the left.
To the left.
Here.
Oh, they left.
Top left. There you go. There you go.
So many. We need laser pointers. All right.
And
You could invite us to the Roll20 game.
It's the same one.
Wait, you're not
You
on.
never invited us.
He's on it, I think.
I'm on it.
And what are you gonna do?
and I don't have my rifle, correct?
No.
Okay, so I'm throwing the Akori.
We have
Yeah.
pistol pointers.
Sizzle.
Sizzle, baby.
All right,
Someone
that's
in
pretty
chat knows
good.
good penetrating damage.
Yeah, I saw that.
6 plus 5, 11 with the stunt.
6 plus 5, 11 with a stunt.
Yep.
11 is not. If you're attacking Durzo, that is not gonna.
Oh, sorry. No, 12 plus 5. I added this
Oh,
one.
17.
3 plus 6 plus 5.
17.
Yes.
That hits.
Wait, I'm like, high roll. I don't. All right. I think I only got a 3. Called shot is 4, right?
You could increase the stunt dice by double the fortune it takes. Just letting you know.
That's what I stunted
Double
on though.
teams too.
What was that?
It was my stunt die is what caused the stunt.
I'm saying, like, if you. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that would
I wouldn't have a
break
stunt
it.
anymore.
That would break it.
Unless I
Damn.
raise it to 6.
Damn. Sorry.
I don't have anything that can. Do I have anything that can ignore armor?
Yeah, you
With
can
a
make it a
stun?
penetrating attack if it's a gun.
It's thrown weapon.
It's a thrown weapon. I don't know if that was under melee.
I would say for now. Let's say you can. That's like called shot or something like that. It can turn it into penetrating attack. I forget.
Yeah.
I think that's like 4 or 5.
Cold shot was
hits
4. I only
for-
have 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one that does it.
Can you use long for it?
Your opponent suffers a -1 attack roll per SP spent until the start of your next turn, so you can make all his attacks a -3.
Let's do that.
Awesome.
That's Overwatch under gun stunts.
Perfect.
Since
Next.
it's thrown.
Yeah, I'm letting it count.
Eh,
Yeah,
okay,
because that's
perfect.
her version. So you whip the thing out of it, and like you just basically start like bombarding them with these things. And how much damage did you do?
Oh, good question. Only 6.
Compromises footing.
That's right.
You can see the bounce off of his forehead, and like where the past his kind of greenish reddish blood, you can see a metallic sheen underneath his skin
Is he
as it
bloody?
bounces off his forehead. Yes. Next up, it is Cassie's turn. Cassie, you also hear sizzling and
Can I get to drool?
from where you are. Your speed is what?
Yes, you can.
12.
You
One,
can.
two,
Oh,
You
yeah,
absolutely
easy.
can.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Or even
Okay.
here. Right?
Yeah, behind.
She could get
Back one. Thank
There
you.
we go.
This is just like my family. We've all shoved ourselves into the smallest space possible.
Right.
We always pick the smallest room in the house.
Hopefully it
well,
doesn't have
I'll
another
stand
name.
in it.
That's what we have.
Yeah.
So,
Hope not.
yeah. So I'm going to attempt to heal Droogle.
All right.
Use the source.
It's stunted, and it does actually go off.
Nice.
I have 5 stunt points. So,
Ooh, what are you gonna spend it on?
well,
He wants that 4.
Split is pretty good. So it's quick.
right. I'm trying to find where I have my actual sheet. I have too many pages.
We'll get used to them.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
So, I would like to. Could do extra healing. So I'll do. I will with 4. I think I'll. No, I'll just do skillful power, which reduces the cost of my power by 1, and I'll do mighty power, which increases the healing that I'll do, and I will also. I guess that's it. I won't
Okay.
spend the. I won't spend the last one then.
All right.
So I'm gonna spend 3 points to roll 3d6, but I get an extra from my stun point.
Yep.
Okay. You will heal for 19.
Wow.
Ooh.
Nice.
19 fortune.
I am a less sizzly potato now.
So Cassie
Wow.
comes whipping around the corner. You can hear like the squeak of the hard soles of her rubber combat boots on the deck plating as she like pivots around the door frame. She's already got the Kalakesh basically in hand, kind of recognizing the smell of burnt hair and flesh. She reaches out and you can just feel this warmth pouring over you as the cackled, hardened skin starts to soften up.
And then with my minor action, I will activate with the same
Minor was
hand
the minor
device.
Just to move.
Oh, that's right.
It's all
With my
good.
minor action, I moved in to get there.
Exactly. All right, Droogle, you're feeling less like
I'm
a
gonna
baked
shoot
potato.
things.
Gotcha.
Shoot and then just walk away.
Yes. I'm gonna shoot and then hide.
Bail.
This is my goal in life.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm the hell. Literally SpongeBob.
So the Droog, I'm gonna try and hit him with my pistol since it's armor penetrating and they're full of metal.
That's a meme for tomorrow.
So that's 11 plus 5 is 16.
That hits.
No, I did not stun anything, so just 16. And then 2d6 plus 1 is 9 points. Double force.
Are you trying to take him alive, or are you?
The Droog, no. No.
So
No. I don't have patience after being
Space
baked.
trash.
Cassie is reaching out towards you. The healing powers of the Karakesh in her hand. You stretch your like amorphous body up and reach a pseudopod, and you just put a blaster bolt right between the guy's eyes. And like you can see the back of his head evaporates as he goes down.
Nice.
Boop. All right.
And then I'm going to move behind the things so that Durzo can't hit me with more lightning. So, like, yeah.
Spinning his lightsaber.
His plasma sword.
Like plasma sword.
So is this like a tall wall, or
Yeah.
is this okay?
It's a full. Yeah, he can't see past it.
Yeah.
It's a partition.
And I'm just kind of sitting there going,
Glorious. Droog is dead. The Droog is dead. Drake, you're up.
So I'm just like swinging my thing around. I'm like, you are about the dumbest sack of shit I've seen in my in my 10 days here at space. And I will use my minor. Well, actually, I'll charge. and then strike him.
Oh, please. We're supposed to take him alive.
I stunt.
Yes.
I use
4 is knockout.
get out of my turn. Thank you.
This is excitement.
Please don't kill him.
15 to hit without taking the -2.
Please.
That just hits.
Double team twice.
I'll use 4 of my stunt points to do knockout.
Alright.
So I just like I'm like kind of toying with him a bit, and I like knock his weapon aside, and then I show him that I have him, and then I spin it around and knock him with the pummel on the top of his head.
Excellent.
So worried.
I already looked it up.
I know,
know.
but I was worried you were gonna make a choice.
Let me see. Let me see where knockout is. Is it under general?
It's just
stunts?
if they're bloodied. Yeah, it's general stunts. It's 4 points. I think it just reads if they're bloodied, you can declare.
Oh,
it.
the damage. You have to roll the damage.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
It has to be enough.
It has to be greater than their toughness.
Okay. Oh, it is. 13. 12.
That is enough to knock him out.
Armor piercing, armor
Yeah,
piercing.
exactly as you described. So you take it, and I would say that you shear through, like he tries to bring up a blade, and you shear through it, and then BAM! Hit him on the side of the temple with the pommel, and he goes down. Yeah.
I activate and I look over to Dakiri. You could do better.
She looks at her chronograph. Was that 5 minutes?
They always exaggerate.
I would say that was 3 rounds, so that was about 45 seconds.
Right.
Yep.
I don't want, I could stand no minute, man.
And you do hear eventually, after a few moments, you hear like the doo, 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 and like lights start to flash, and it says, "This is a public service announcement. Please return to your quarters." Like as the automated systems in the station have finally gotten the idea that there has been some kind of fight or scuffle.
We have a
But
body
we're
now.
Huh?
We have a body now.
Yep.
We're activating on legitimate authority.
Exactly.
Kind of.
More or less, yeah.
Literally
Yeah,
on
we're-
legitimate authority.
Correct.
All right. This
That's-
is in the service of the Senate. Like
right.
Justin.
Oh,
Finish
boy.
that without cracking a
Nah,
smile.
never.
That is wonderful. So after not very long, because they were actually alerted to that this was going to be a thing. Let me see if I have an alarm for this. There we go. You see a group of very heavily armored Sarakan and half Sarakan people come up, and there's the station security guard that you guys had spoken with previously, and after kind of basically making eye contact with you guys, says, "It's all right, guys. Lower your weapons. They have a contract." And he kind of approaches forward. He's like, "Will somebody turn that damn thing off?" And he kind of walks in and surveys the damage around the room. The 2 unconscious Sarakan in the hallway, Durzo laying on the ground, and the, partially headless Sarakan laying on the floor. He says,
And the 2 surrounding bodies, right?
in the hallway, yeah, they're unconscious.
Cool.
Says, "All right, one of you got the contract?
Yep.
Hand it here."
I have the rope out and I'm
Yeah.
tying Durzo.
He looks at it, like swipes through, puts his thumb on the pad. It's like, "By the powers vested in me of the TechCon Group
Nazi
Private
vested
Customs
one.
Authority, I warrant this a legal seizure. Guys, get this mess out of here." Said, "You have 48 hours to get him off our ship, and you are able to extradite him to wherever you deem necessary."
After he's tied up, we'll pick him up. And just throw him over our shoulder. Just grapple and hold him
Is he
tight.
still sizzling? Can I poke him?
He is.
I'd like to grab that container that he inhaled.
Yep.
Sure.
I like how my cover, like my cover wave to my contact about him being on some kind of drug instead of saying that he was using force powers actually turned out to be both those things were right.
That's perfect.
Can I search him?
You can. So that would be a perception, investigation,
Or not searching.
searching. Oh, there's a searching. Then yeah, perfect.
Yep.
Sorry.
14.
Searching. No. With a
No, not
14,
that.
not that. So yeah,
Shut up,
you,
Choose
you do
fighting
pretty well.
instead.
You find on him. You find in one of his pockets is basically a light chain that seems to be hooked up to a thing where he could electrify it. It's hooked up to a thing in his arm. You find a pretty crude looking. It's a human issue pistol. You can tell that it's a Magnum. You find a pretty wicked looking combat knife that has like one of those kind of it has like a vibro motor in it to do a little bit more damage. And then you find another inhaler of that substance.
Toss that
It's
to
got
Drake.
black looking. So you look and it's got the inhaler itself is kind of this like this. It kind of looks like the color of dried blood is what the breath part of it is, and it's got a clear tube on it that's filled with a black tar-like fluid.
Is this branded by any company?
You just see you flip it over and you can see a single symbol on it, but you don't recognize the
What
symbol.
symbol would that look like? What symbol does that look like?
It basically looks like I would picture kind of like a cloud with several like sharp things coming out of it.
Lightning
Cloud.
bolts?
Kind of, yeah, or flames.
I don't know. That's it. That's it now.
And is it all in a circle?
Yeah, like there's no standard behind it.
These are
It's
one
just-
use?
Yep.
Thanks.
The Siracan captain gestures to the two unconscious Siracan on the floor. Says, "The contract didn't say anything about hangers on."
Nope.
Oh. They're criminals, do what you will.
We
We'll
tried
toss
not
them in
to
the
kill
brig, let them
anybody, but-
sleep it off, see if they've committed any crimes here in Siracan space.
Yeah. They were interfering with the execution of a contract.
Yeah, well, good job. Didn't kill any civilians. Feel good about yourselves. He just kind of, he's like, all right, guys. He just
Thanks for
walks off.
permission to feel good about ourselves.
Yeah.
Fucking authorities.
Jesus.
Men.
Yeah. Men in authority.
You just hear the potato. Humans.
Hey, I'm a Siracan.
Get out of our seat.
Just from like back.
Throwing open the door.
Yeah, roll initiative. All right, you guys pretty quickly subdued Durzo and his crew. What do you want to do? You have an
We
unconscious
should
Durzo.
probably just take him back to the
All
ship,
back
right?
to the ship.
Yeah.
Right.
Put him in
And
the
then-
brig.
Get out of.
Brig 1 or Brig 2?
You got one brig there, and two
Two
brig
brig
here.
there.
Excellent. You got
How
a really
many
big
brigs
brig.
do we have?
Suspended
You have
animation.
actually like
So
you have one really big brig and then a small brig.
we have suspended animation chambers,
Yeah.
and we also have a hacking potato who can try to deactivate any of the cybernetics, probably just to make sure that any of the cybernetics won't interfere with
You could.
putting them under.
You know that when somebody's unconscious, like when they're in cryo, they're like deep freeze. They're not gonna do
Right.
anything.
So we don't need to like check and make sure that they don't have like redundancies to make sure that they don't.
Yeah, he would be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was relying on the inhaler for force power, so it's not like he's gonna be able to do anything.
I meant cybernetically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that shocks him
Checking
back
all
away.
boxes.
Right, or like overrides.
I got
Suspended
Do
you.
you have
animation
like
shit? I don't
nanobites
know.
that keep you from freezing or unfreeze you from cryo to hack the cryopod to let you out if you're like in prison transport?
That kind of stuff. I mean, just from your general knowledge, like that's pretty advanced tech. Like
Give
But
me
it
rich.
exists.
it exists.
Oh, cool.
In this world,
That's all I.
well, the more advanced people don't even use cryo. They use like literal stasis. So instead of like freezing you, it's just freezing you in time. So it doesn't have nearly as many side effects. Like you just walk in, you walk out. It's like second pass, and you feel great.
Yeah.
A lot of advanced technology in this world.
Paradoxes.
See, I'm
Huh?
stuffing both of those inhalers in my
Time stasis
pockets.
field though.
Right.
Do you share that symbol with the rest of us?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I will interweb it.
So you come back to the ship, and Cat Bap kind of greets you at the large
Okay.
airlock. Oh, you got him! I didn't doubt you for a minute.
Yeah.
Look around. So he like kind of points around the ship, and you can see like that large hole that was in the deck plating has been replaced, and most of the scorch marks have been dealt with. And you can see some other like accoutrement in there that weren't there before. He's like, they replaced the damaged parts from the fight earlier.
Good job, Cat.
Nice.
Very nice.
Looks
Get a new
good.
cooler coil or whatever it was we were trying to steal off the other ship.
See?
Oh yeah, this baby! And he slaps the side of the ship. She can fit so many cooler coils in it now.
Did you manage to get a protective wall around the engine installed?
We had one.
No, we didn't.
No, we
No,
didn't.
why
Oh,
did
the
it
wall.
be
We had the force
exposed?
field.
There's a containment field.
Yeah.
I just didn't have time to put it up before.
All right.
I mean, these things are usually really safe, you know.
I'm just saying a door wouldn't be out of line.
I mean,
Correct.
you don't know.
It is the engine.
Correct.
Yeah, they're safe. I mean, the radiation that they emit.
I'm really upset. It doesn't have even a door. It's not even security theater.
I just kind of stand in the opening and slowly get larger. Feel better.
You know, if that baby decided to blow, I mean, you could have 10 feet of door between you and it. It wouldn't help.
Again, just the thought. Like, it's just the feeling of security, not even real security.
I can hang a sheet over it.
Actually be nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Might give, some
I'm just slowly
privacy.
filling the doorway.
Beads even.
Yeah, as Drugel, like, slowly...
Drugel.
the lower half of the door.
Drugel, you do make a better door than a window.
That's true.
Do you want to turn the promo thing on again?
Oh, I can do that.
Thanks, Cat Bap.
Chase's new name is Catnap.
And I'm gonna move the thing over to
That's his
show
new
the
voice.
map. Does it occasionally go to the map, or is it
No.
only the promo?
No,
Okay.
it's only the promo.
It's all
Well,
eyeballs.
I'm gonna do
You
this
have to
just so
actively
you
change
guys
it
can
between
see it,
this.
just for your viewing pleasure, even though no one at home can do it or can see it. There we go. There's Cat Bap, and there's the. So you can toss him in one of these
We'll
crouchers.
haul him over to cryo chamber and just toss him in.
Can I have some of
Casually.
his cybernetics while he's cryoed?
You can run like a, what would you call it? You could run like a cable or a wire
my life
inside
now.
of it. So you basically, like, before he closes the fridge door, you basically, like, run a wire in and, like, hook it up to a diagnostic port on the base of his neck and, like, drag the strand out the door.
This seems unhealthy.
As they slap the door shut, he's like, you want me to put him under?
Yes.
He hits the button and you can just see the inside of the glass quickly frost
He's
over as
Still
he takes
bound,
on.
right?
Yeah.
When he's put in there?
Yeah.
Cool.
As he takes over a blue
Literally.
cast, he's like, he's gonna get such bad freezer burn. You're supposed to take their clothes off before you freeze them. I'm serious. And you would know that that's actually, like, if you go in, like, fully clothed, it causes what they call freezer burn, where, like, it basically makes you feel, like, uncomfortable. They usually put you, like,
should've
in
told-
special suits
You
and
should
stuff.
have
Will it
told us
kill
this
him?
before we did it because he was unconscious and we could have stripped him.
You could have, but you guys don't care. Do you guys care if he gets,
No.
like, he's just gonna
As
feel
long as it doesn't
uncomfortable.
kill him.
He
It's not gonna
clearly-
kill him.
That's not our problem.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna, it's just uncomfortable. Literally, it just doesn't feel good.
Killed a guy.
He killed
With
more
lightning.
than one guy.
And
But we're violating so many of his rights on so many levels at the moment.
He's,
Call the UN.
Right.
I mean, we're going there. So, I mean,
Okay, so before we leave the planet, that's actually, you reminded me of a thing. So,
we need to call the UN.
are we... So is Drugel... I don't know how, like, goodness or evil works in this system.
there is none.
There's no alignment.
Oh boy.
It's a world of grace, unless you start throwing force lightning around and start hitting some stuff.
Catnap is answering your question.
I'm fine with this.
And Alexis is looking pointedly at Drake with his lightning.
So, do you feel, as the DM and our mascot Cat Bap, that Drugel would be good enough to leave some sort of trail back to the dark port that's on this planet?
If
If it's like
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
terrible things that are happening there. If they're just transporting like goods, I don't think. But if they're transporting like slaves or people,
I mean,
like
I'll say in the
I don't know how dark this universe
Right.
gets.
It gets pretty dark. Like
It
think
can.
think about the darkest parts of this world. It gets just as dark.
So would that be one of those ports that would transport people, children, slaves, do bad things, or is it like I'm a refugee and I need to get away from the good guys that are really bad guys?
You rolled pretty high on your checks before, and you had like the extra knowledge thing. I would say like that. While that stuff could go through here, like this is a pretty like backwater place. It's literally probably just like drugs, illicit goods. It's not like
Okay.
people.
So it's not like so bad that I would want to tip off the authorities. Just
Probably
kind of
not.
know that it's there in case I ever want to use it.
Honestly, exactly. You probably have used these
Perfect.
kinds of ports before. Like if you
Yeah.
saw them obviously carting around child slaves, you would do something about it, but that's not the case.
I just wanted to double check
Yeah.
before we move along. Maybe
Yeah.
create a weird side quest.
Good
That's
thought.
fair. No,
Good
that's
thought.
really good. That's a really good thought. I never would have thought of that.
Well,
Yeah, let's avoid. Can we avoid those topics in the game?
Yeah,
Por favor? Thank you.
for sure.
Let's not put that content in this game, please.
I don't plan on
Max
it.
carding that.
Yeah. So, unless you guys have, I mean, we've been on the station. I'm gonna get a little antsy, and I think that our friend Prax is out to visit.
So our next move is to do Cat Maps thing?
It's on the
It's on
way.
the way.
And on the way to where? I'm sorry.
Herbivore.
I'm glad that Cat Pap's telling us our mission.
And
I mean,
Herbivore. So we're at Regima.
I'm married to Cat.
We're
Bat
headed
now,
to
apparently.
Herbivore.
He pulls up his pad. He's like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, it's in the flight plan. That's what you told me."
Yeah.
Listen, wasn't my flight plan. I wasn't. paying
Oh yeah.
attention. So we're headed to Herbivore, and on the way we're gonna stop Brax at Pax.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And where did we come from?
Yeah, we
Where did
were
we come from?
over
Where did we go?
at Reltec
Reltec
Nord.
Nord, yeah.
You know, it's
Cool. So we
Potato
went
Joe.
from Reltec Nor to Regima. Now we're on our way to Herbivore, and we're stopping at Pax to get Brax.
yeah, Prax.
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 You could,
Prax unplugged.
Prax unplugged. Prax to get Brax. I'm just repeating it for my own admiration, and perhaps if there's anyone watching.
Yeah.
that's right. Know what's going on.
Correct.
If there's anyone in our
Anyone
party
listen-
who wasn't paying attention earlier or didn't catch that information
or
because they weren't
any of our
present.
viewers not who
That's
aren't
right.
following.
Okay, so as we go
Restating the
to
narrative.
a
Yeah, that's
larger
fair.
place, at some
Thinking that
point
fourth
in the
wall.
near future, we all have this +2 to our money goal that we
Mhm.
can use to buy stuff when we get to Herbivore and have bigger markets and cooler
Right.
shit.
Yep, and to describe, because you guys did do a little bit of research on Herbivore, to let you guys know where you're heading towards very close to Earth. You're going to be within 800 light years of Earth. To put it in perspective, you traveled 10,000 light years to get here.
Jesus.
Yeah,
So we're
like,
gonna be right there.
I
You're
would
like
travel
literally in-
10,000 more.
you're going to travel 14,000
Full
more to
damage,
get
you
there, or 24,000 more to get there. You are going to be on what's considered a mid or inner colony. So there's this sphere of about 1,000 light years with like several hundred planets that humanity has really heavily populated. That's considered like the heart of the Unified Authority territory. You know that like because of the Stargate network and everything, that there are planets on the other side of the galaxy that humans live on. But this is like the heart of their territory.
Wow. Earth.
So do you have to be super wealthy to get back to Earth since all the Earth stuff is so expensive?
It's quite expensive. Like it's pretty much impossible to get a Stargate there. It's not that much to actually book a ship there. The problem is like most people don't have like a free ride. Like you could always get there, but it might take you years of saving and travel to get that far.
And
Okay,
living on
so-
there is only for the rich and their servants.
Pretty much. There is a very large population of what you would call people who are very poor, but they're on basic. So what happened is after the war, Earth is like one of the only colonies that never fell, and so it's got 24 billion people living on it right now, or 23 billion people living on it. A billion living on the moon, more living on Mars. Like, a lot of people literally just did not want to leave the solar system because they're like, well, this is the safest place. So some people would rather live like almost, in like tenement housing with the basic needs rather than brave out there,
Okay, so Catbat being a cargo ship, or having a cargo ship, if we wanted to go to Earth for supplies or something cool or nifty or had any other reason to go there, he could like take on cargo and like sell it for a super profit out in space.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things you're asking him now. Yeah, there's some things you could sell. Like, there's a lot of Earth-made products that sell for a pretty penny out there. Like some people, like I personally, I can't tell the difference in the taste, but people say they can, so they pay extra for it. But they're pretty. How would I say? They're pretty strict, and I would rather not put myself under the scrutiny, if that makes sense. They check pretty well when you're going to Earth.
When 24 billion people live there, there has to be a dark port just like the one here.
Oh yeah, there might be. That's probably the most heavily secured place in the galaxy, as far as I know. Besides, the rings. You're not allowed at the rings at all. But Hervor would be. I've never been there before. I hear it's nice.
Nice.
It's been a while.
Since oh my, it's been a while.
Been a while.
We're gonna get copyright.
Since I've been here before.
Have any of you been to Earth? Have any of you been to Earth?
No.
Grew up there. Didn't I? Yeah.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, I grew up on Earth.
Oh. What was that like?
Well, not moving back.
Yeah, alright. I'm gonna go meditate.
Well, I guess I'll plug the course in if you guys do anything else you want to do here. I'm assuming you guys are hey, you know what? I knew that you guys like staying awake, so I loaded up on food, and it's not just Ungoi food, it's Sarakan food. So that's close enough.
Oh.
You guys
And
all
they
like the
eat
same
eggs.
things?
That's fine. We're good.
Yeah. So,
Drop an egg in my whiskey. Just kidding.
you want an egg in this trying time?
That's right. Have an egg in this trying time. You want to talk about Earth more? Give me a drink, and we can talk about it over a drink. Not get me a drink. We can talk over a drink.
I was just curious if anyone had ever been.
What's it like? Catbat kind of like sits down in the chair, and you can see his little feet dangling.
I don't see a glass of whiskey in front of me.
Oh, and you look at like fishes under the table and put something that's kind of like a clear yellowish color.
Amber.
There you go.
Amber is the color of this.
For the energy, yeah. The guy
Okay.
on the guy on the station said that's whiskey.
Which guy on the station?
The guy I bought it from.
Remember what we talked about? Humans lie.
Yeah, they do. Well, this was a Sarakan.
Okay. Alright.
They make clear whiskey.
I'll smell it.
Yeah.
It's
This smells like a passable whiskey. It's somebody's interpretation of what like an earthen whiskey
some kind
would
of
be.
moonshine.
Yeah.
Alright. Pouring out drinks for whoever wants drinks. I kind of sit back and talk about, well, what do you want to know?
Well, I mean, 24 billion people, that's a lot of people.
Yeah,
23
I
billion.
mean, if you don't have money, it's crowded. If you do have money, I mean, you got some space, but you basically, outside of the space you own, you're on top of each other, so.
You know,
He had a family had like a remote spot up in Minnesota. Went fishing there. That was nice. Getting away from all the crowds and the politics. But, you know,
what's fishing?
you try to catch fish Kind of like what we did today, but actually in a pond with actual fish.
Oh, okay. That's odd. You eat
Some
them
sort
afterwards?
of body of water. I mean, or you set them free, but yeah, you eat them.
So we use stun grenades when fishing?
No.
Oh.
We use worms as bait.
Oh.
Is there like a hologram system in this ship that I could project like on the walls and around us?
You could lay down your hand terminal because you got one of the nicer ones, and you could basically make it project like up above it.
Can I project like the original like
Sentient
Google Earth?
Yeah.
And just like without people, and when she starts talking about fish, I will project, I don't know, like Earth discovery, the Animal Planet kind of shows. Like all of the, you know.
Yeah, the soothing documentaries.
Yes.
Bear just
With Snoop Dogg narrating all of them.
Well, that looks. He's looking at the pictures
President
like.
Snoop Dogg in this reality.
Yeah. Long may he reign. He says, "Well, that looks really nice. My home planet, it's called Balajo. It looks a lot colder than Earth. It's pretty much frozen everywhere except there are these really great pillars. We call them the signals, and they're like these giant flames that come out because methane is flammable. Yeah, it's pretty cool."
I'll project that too.
Yeah, and you see like as you pull up Balajo, you see this like floating like blue planet that's mostly covered with ice, and you can see like it's got some small like I guess like not nearly as large of oceans as Earth, or if it did have oceans, they're frozen over.
Where is Balajo?
That's let's see, probably 20,000 light years from here, back in St. Heliospace. I mean, we had problems with overcrowding too before, the incident, and then, well, I'm going to reproduce really fast.
What was the incident?
Well, we kind of ruined the planet with all of our pollution, and then, well, it caused like this big thing, and that's what it wasn't always that cold before, and then, well, a lot of people died. But then the Covenant came in and they gave us technology and kind of used us as cannon fodder for a few hundred years, and then you guys came.
Cool story.
But, we're doing a lot better now. Like, we're not under anyone's thumb anymore, and we've got our own industry and our own technology. I hear that the capital is doing really great. It's pretty cool.
Who rules? I'm sorry, what's the planet's name?
It's Balajo.
Who rules it now?
I mean, we do.
Oh. Who controls Sangheili's space?
Well, I mean, the Sangheili still do.
Yeah.
The Crowley of Eastville, they it's kind of like a mutual thing. They're not like in there telling us like, you guys can't reproduce and like you guys have to do this now. They just kind of protect us.
And you pay them taxes.
I guess, yeah. I mean, we provide service. Like, we do jobs and stuff. I mean, it's not all free, I guess. But it's not the same as before. Like, before we couldn't even read. They didn't let us do anything.
Yikes.
Alright.
I mean, it's pretty shitty.
So here's a picture of me with my grandparents fishing.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
It's me. It's a young, like, probably 10-year-old Cassie with like shoulder length bob with bangs, blonde hair, and a nice, aged Jack O'Neill and Samantha Carter up on the shore of a lake in Michigan with a cabin in the background.
Minnesota or Michigan? Both?
Minnesota.
Okay. Alright. Those are
Yeah,
your,
sure, there.
Those are your parents?
Oh, yeah.
Grandparents.
Oh.
Your grandparents was Jack O'Neill and Samantha Carter?
Yeah, I don't spread it around though. Not everybody is a fan.
that would be like if my grandpa was the Arbiter. That's crazy.
I get that reference.
Yeah, but I mean, sure.
All right, Kat.
Yes, that's what it would be like.
Huh. That's weird. I wouldn't know. I mean, looking at you, I guess you're cool, but I would have thought you would be like taller or something. Wasn't he like 8 feet tall? And
No, that's Master Chief.
no, I mean I don't. Anyway,
Who are your grandparents?
Jack O'Neill and Samantha Carter.
Yeah, what does that mean?
They're pretty famous. They were SG-1 elites.
Drake just scratches his head.
U.S. military.
Oh,
Well, Earth military.
yeah.
And big war heroes, all that.
like, any of you guys know that, like, basically everyone at the table, like, the names of like the Covenant War, even a century ago, like, are burned into the history books. Like, anyone who doesn't have issues would know, like, these people are like single-handedly saved Earth multiple times. Like,
It's like
were-
knowing George Washington and Abraham Lincoln.
yeah, instrumental in
No
taking down the
idea.
Covenant.
Correct.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, all right. Wow. Can I get your autograph?
No.
Yeah, let's go. Okay. Do you like go to conventions?
No, I don't do that shit.
Oh, I mean, did you used to?
I mean, it's not conventions so much as the
Speaking.
bigwigs in politics
Right.
wanting you to go around and be a circus puppet.
Oh, yeah, like speaking engagements.
Yeah, but censored. Like, oh, but, don't talk about human rights.
Oh,
And you can't drink whiskey in front of the fans.
So, the strings that they kept trying to pull got a little obnoxious and wasn't a fan.
If can I ask? And no offense by this at all, because when the Nuri is a great ship, but if your grandparents were like these bigwigs, what are you doing in a shit bucket like this?
I was just about to ask.
Well, pours another round. And then Cassie will take a big sigh and say, well, I climbed pretty quickly and easily in the ranks of the military. Had a command. Bought everything with there were talks and whispers and rumors about trying to implement cloning for military purposes. I was pretty vocal against that,
I can see where this is going.
and certain people weren't really appreciative of me being vocal against that. Sanctions were made, roadblocks, thankfully because of, who I am and the reputation that my family holds. I was able to do a lot of road blocking. That didn't stop the unnamed projects under the table from getting passed through by certain people. And by the time I found out, it was too late.
Oh.
So, that's why I am not there.
Unnamed projects.
Yeah, clones. They just were trying to get it through without actually making it known that it was happening until it was already implemented.
I don't remember a lot about genetics or science, but you must have been at the top of their list to clone.
Well, we'll see.
Did you ever give blood at a government hospital?
Wasn't so much for donating blood, but
How do you know you're not the clone?
Oh shit.
you're gonna need to pour me a lot more whiskey before you ask me that question again.
That's an excellent question, Jack.
That's really heavy.
Fuck.
I start the fish
They
up
were
again.
using.
Wow.
I mean, no, how do you know?
Do I know who ended up being who the clones were? Like What kind of specimens they used as
the-
clones?
The official story is that the base template for the clone soldiers is kind of a mix of the most successful Spartans and heroes from the previous wars,
Yep.
including your uncle.
Why do you think I
your
left?
grandfather.
Oh.
Why do you think I tried so hard to block all that?
Huh.
I mean, it's not the only reason, but it was a factor.
Jake looks up and it's like something. He's remembered something, and he's like, he just nods.
I just have to believe that anybody in my family that they would have cloned, as long as they had free will of some nature, like their own faculties, they would leave too. But, you know, I'm also not that optimistic to think that they'd be able to get out. So the reason that I think that I'm not a clone is because I'm not under their thumb. I could drive myself crazy thinking about, but am I really not under their thumb? And I'm just not going to do it.
Wow.
I spiraled once. I'm not doing it again.
I mean, yeah, you could be like some controlled experiment where they put you out in the wild and just observe.
Not
see
doing
what's
it again.
happening.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Do this
That's
so
a
like
very good
Golo
point,
have a
Cat.
world?
Yes.
Yeah.
We do.
By the way, we never used sentient worms when we went fishing, just
Right.
so you know.
We know.
Like it was...
We
Yeah.
know.
We are.
Yeah, tell us. I mean, I've heard about it. It's like Tay, right? Or
It
something?
is. It is.
Is it nice?
It's completely covered with Legola colonies that stretch as far as the oceans, rivers, seas.
Wow.
We work as a hive mind of sorts.
If
So-
there's a documentary on it, we can see it.
Like an unending area.
An
Trying not to
expanse?
say- yeah, that's what I was trying not to say. An unending expanse of.
Correct.
Oh.
Smaller colonies will break off to go gather information and learn more about the outside.
Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Oh.
I was one of the smaller colonies broke off to study the Sol system, learn more about its people, inhabitants.
Pretty far from the Sol system now.
We're getting closer.
I guess we're heading back.
How close is it to Earth?
You guys will
It's
be
in, like,
within
it's
spitting
800
distance.
space.
The herbivore is
It's
within the
800
Sol
light years.
system,
Yeah,
right?
we're
Or
close.
close
to Sol,
enough.
Sol is like
but like
our
Tay
solar
is
system.
really far.
Herbivore is 800 light years away from Earth, but like a ship can get there in less than a day.
I understand.
Yeah.
So Sol is our solar system,
Mhm.
Yes.
and your planet's in Sol.
No.
No.
He was sent to study
He was sent to
humans.
study,
so,
okay.
yeah.
So we're referred to as Soligola.
Yeah, that's what. Oh, that's where you get your name from. Gotcha. So you're the Golo that's sent to Sol. So,
Correct.
all right. This is all making my head hurt. I'm gonna go lay down and drink. I walk away.
Was it hard to separate from the collective?
It's definitely lonelier. It's harder. You're not as accepted when you're not near your kind. But we try to fit in.
So, if you were within range of like other hive mind, the Golo, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were really upset about something. Are your emotions influenced by each other? Could they cheer
Don't-
you up just by being happy
I think so.
about something?
Right?
It's not
'Cause
like,
it's
it's
like
not
a
like
physical.
telepathy, yeah, it's like
Yeah.
physical.
It's like a physical thing. So
Alright.
no, it's
Interesting.
when we break off, we're separate entities until we're physically connected as a swarm.
So when you return, do you cease to be Tack?
I mean, we don't cease to be. We are still within the collective. We just share our knowledge. So not only are we TAC, we are every other colony that's broken off and returned.
I'm really sorry if this is an insensitive question,
Mm.
but when you then rejoin and then leave again, are you composed of the same individuals? Are you still the same being?
I don't know.
If you rejoin
Okay.
and then separate, are you still TAC when you separate?
Usually,
Are you changed? Is your composition different? How does that work?
usually once you rejoin, you stay joined. And then whatever separates off again is a new entity.
So if you rejoin, TAC will never be again.
Well, TAC will be part of the collective.
But TAC will never be an individual again.
Correct.
Interesting.
It's our cycle of life almost.
Right.
That's crazy. You're not like, and he turns to look over at you. He's like, you're not like 4 Draslites in a trench coat, are you?
No. One can't be that lucky.
Can't be better.
It would be cooler if you were. Wow.
4 Draslight children in a trench coat.
That should be a thing.
Yep.
Let's see. He says, well, you know, guys. 1 second.
Oh boy.
Are you looking up the stats for 4 dress like children in a trench
No, I'm
coat?
looking up how long it's going to take you guys to get where you need to go.
Oh, got it.
We're gonna be here for a few for a number of weeks.
Oh, God.
Oh, jeez.
True.
What is this?
We have an
down
even
to-
longer journey than before. Wait, we're stopping halfway through though.
Oh yeah, to get
Yeah,
to
oh,
Prax.
that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
To get to
Okay.
Prax.
Onward to Prax.
So that's only like 10 days from here. We're good. And there are plenty of. You guys want to just make like almost like fast travel on one of those video games? You could sleep in
No,
one.
let's roleplay the whole thing.
Yeah.
now.
10 days.
17 sessions later.
I will say the last thing I do before the jump cut would be I'm going to meditate over that item just for roleplay purposes. I'm just going to hold it in my hand and move it around and focus on it and try to study it, to understand what it means. Because as far as I know, I didn't realize you could bottle the source.
Yeah. Please roll me I guess it would be your psyops.
Okay.
We have a +1 if I'm within sight, just to remind you.
I'm doing it in my room. I don't know if we're
That's
roommates.
fair.
And then when we come back from...
Oh, fuck.
Damn!
12, 16, 19, 20.
I think it's just
If it matters, there was a stunt
Yeah, I'm stunting.
with 6 stunt points.
this
So
is an
breakthrough.
breakthrough.
Yep.
Perfect. 1 second.
Yes.
I mean,
And the
Yeah,
chart.
churn. Is this infiltration? Can I comb the water?
Every
This would be investigation.
Churn, churn,
I'm fucking with you.
churn.
Breakthrough.
breakthrough. How many set points is that?
It's whatever. I don't care. 5 or 4.
That's
It
enough.
doesn't matter. It's
Yeah.
4 or 5. Yeah.
So this thing is absolutely seething in what would be considered dark side energies. As you study it, it clearly, like, because there's a little bit of residue inside of the device. If you touch it, you know it's clearly manufactured. And I don't mean to say like the material is manufactured. It's not something that's like naturally occurring. So somebody processed this thing, distilled something down that does something that you thought that no one could ever do.
Okay, that was my next question. So as I'm sitting here focusing on this, like, do I know this is a thing? This is new information, not only to me, but I get the sense that it's new.
Right, like you're like from your fragmented memories,
Yeah.
like this even just feels big.
Feels it feels wrong. Damn.
That's right, because you had a full one. That's right.
I'm keeping them in my pockets.
The next day, you can see that there's been a tasteful sheet with rocket ships on it hung between the engine block and the main part of the ship.
Pillar.
Yeah, exactly,
You
right
know
there.
what? Rocket ship bed sheets is one of the few things I don't own.
Right.
But we really need to get some and just hang it behind Chase.
It's one of those
perfect.
cheap shower curtain things.
Exactly. Like literally just kind of like
I
that.
mean, I've got penguins. We have battleships. Why do we not have battleships behind him?
At least the criminals that board our ship next time are gonna have to at least pause for half a second.
And wonder.
Wonder where
And
it is.
evaluate.
What
Yeah.
could be behind?
Right. Where's the
number
engine?
one?
Shit.
Well, do you want me to...
Just the slightest bit of
You can see
hesitation.
he's got like 4 crates stacked up so he can reach the ceiling. He's like, wait, do you want it here between the cargo bay or do you want it in the main hallway?
Can you just try one and then I'll decide?
Okay. he starts to, he takes it down
Right.
and like clambers down. You can see that he's very deft with his climbing. He does it. Obviously, you guys have transitioned to slip space. It will be about 24. No, it'll be 10 days between here and Prax. So I can say that you guys can do any kind of interlude or downtime activities.
I will train willpower.
Okay. We're gonna go around the table this way and make sure we don't skip
I was
anything.
gonna say, should we take a break and then
Yeah,
come
we're
back?
coming
Yeah,
back.
actually, that's perfect. We're gonna take a break, and these guys will take a break.
Make
Ah!
sure
Hey,
that
do not
you-
forget to enter our giveaway.
Yeah, woo!
That's right.
So all 3 of us
Somebody
go
beat me
type
to
it
it.
in.
Yeah, we did.
We will be back
110
after
words a
a
minute.
very short break where we go and eat cookies. And then we will go shake down some people for money. 'Cause that's
Yeah.
what we're about to do.
Perfect.
We might find spaceship backdrops.
Had a lot
I
of fun.
forgot we had that.
See you guys soon.
We literally have bed sheets with spaceships.
Yay! We're back. Thank you guys for being patiently waiting. We enjoyed some delicious cookies. We are going to resume. So the group had
They were chocolate with flour.
was on the Nuria. It is Cat Bap's cargo ship, and they are on their way to Prax. Cat Bap is owed some money by a guy named Brax, and the adventurers are going to help him get his money back.
On Prax.
On Prax. In the meantime, though, Matthew, we spoke after the break because I realized I did not reward the breakthrough stunt that
Yes.
you had. So that logo, you basically do a reverse image search, and you're looking around, and you see that in some like chemistry and medical fields, that symbol is used to denote a catalyst.
Catalyst.
But did he get an advertisement with that search?
He would have for interacting with this thing. Basically, it being smart sees that his flight plan is on the way eventually to go to Hereford, and it starts to advertise some of the harems that are there. Knowing the type of place that you usually stay, it keeps it below 2 stars because it knows you can't afford it.
Because it checks my bank account for me.
Yeah.
Fucking yikes.
Literally, it doesn't show you anything that you can't afford.
Recent medical history.
Right, exactly.
Here's a local free clinics in your area.
Right? Yeah. Want to get?
Fucking yikes. Okay, and then with the rest of that, I will use that to like solely focus on that object as my willpower training. I will do another test, but just thematically using that object to kind of focus my.
Okay, yeah. So this is going to be an advanced test.
Yeah.
I would say that since you guys have 10 days, I'm going to get 3 checks out of you,
Okay.
each one representing roughly 3 days.
Okay. Oh no. I stunted, but I didn't succeed.
You can't stunt if you fail.
I know.
You
2, 3,
can't
4.
stand if you fail.
7.
So, you find like using this dark side or this dark side infused fluid as a focus leaves you a little rattled. Like the night before, your sleep was basically interrupted by like flashes and nightmares, and you find yourself unable to focus on the first day.
Okay. Do I make the other 2 checks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, each one is a separate test.
Just checking. A little better. 13.
13.
Yeah.
Okay. And what was your stunt dice on that one?
4.
Okay.
My dice, but I remembered it.
And then make me. You feel a lot better the next day. You slept a little bit more soundly with a healthy dose of some of that whiskey that Cat Bap had.
14.
All right. And what was your stunt die on that?
2. Excuse me, 3. Sorry. Did I not pick up my dice?
Okay. I would say that you get 5 towards your end goal.
Seems generous. Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, that was my downtime, folks. All good.
So, just to narrate, for the duration of the time, Drake, beyond kind of coming in for food and whatnot, seems to really insulate himself to his bunk and to his corner of the cargo bay, which he uses for meditation. It just seems to be very introverted for most of the trip. Cassie, you have 10 days. Anything that you would like to do? Or anyone?
Well,
Just encouraging Monster Hearts.
jeez. We're switching over to Monster Hearts now. The hooks, get ready. I'm the witch. I'm gonna cast a hex. No,
We're gonna spend money.
that's right. So we're heading to whatever it's called, Brax. Prax to get money from Brax. God damn it. It's fucking names and shit. Do we know what, and we know what he owes Cap-Yap money for. It was for cargo, right?
Yeah. Self-sealing stem bolts.
That's right. That's what I thought.
Can you turn up just a tad?
I think I would want to team up with Droogle again at some point and maybe figure out what we could find out about the location, where we're going to be able to find Brax, maybe pick Cap-Yap's brain about that sort of thing, but, taking Cap-Yap's info with a grain of salt because Cap-Yap is a little impressionable.
That's Cat Bap.
Cap-Bap. Cap-Yap. Yep, it was, never mind. You have Bap-Yap and then Cap-Bap. That's where I'm getting my...
Ongoing names.
I mixed the names together. Whoops.
Cassie and Vanessa. I mean, it's essentially the same thing. Cat Bap.
Incorrect. Anyway,
Depends on your perspective.
Exactly.
so...
Hey, thank you, Chromatic Chimera. Hooray!
Thank you.
The group is currently on a spaceship traveling through slip space, and they are deciding what they're going to do with 10 days of downtime.
Yeah.
So-
Perfect time.
Cassie would like to work with Droogle to do a little bit of investigating on Prax to see about the guy that they're Brax and what they
Yeah.
can find out about him. Okay.
So, kind of, just doing more intelligence, like gathering and whatever digital recon we can do.
Okay.
Locations and
You'll
intel.
You'll remember that that because you're in slip space, it's a lot slower to look this stuff kind of up. So I'll say that you'd have enough time basically to do 2 tests towards it if you wanted to. 2 successful tests. So, Drupal, are you willing to entertain her ideas and look up info?
Would that give up any time I had to do anything I wanted to do?
I would say if you wanted to have time to do your own stuff, then maybe you just do 1 test. Yeah.
Okay.
Because the internet's so slow. It's like on dial-up.
Got it.
So maybe you
Wouldn't
make
it
me...
be that we search for things,
Right.
we download information while we do other shit?
I mean, it takes time to actively sift through and make the connections. Like
Okay.
you're in a very, very, very large internet of thousands of planets.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but you have time to basically do research and gather information on one
Okay.
thing. So if you want to make me an
Test.
intelligence research test, I don't think you have...
Intelligence technology?
The skill is literally, the focus is literary research, so if you don't have it, just add your intelligence modifier.
And am I assisting on that
Yeah.
with my tactics?
Tactics
Knowledge.
isn't really applicable, but just make me an intelligence
Because
test.
that's the information that I'm also because I'm providing that aspect of the search, looking for tactical information.
But if I'm doing research, I don't have anything to do with tactics, unfortunately.
So how about let's see what her result is, and then we'll roll it afterwards, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do.
18 with a stunt dice of 4.
Okay, cool. All right, 18. So you're looking up information. You find that this guy's name is actually Brax Kartha. He has a small bar on the planet of Prax. The bar is called Cover Your Tracks.
Oh boy! Wow! Oh.
Perfect.
Boy.
Proud of you, Chase.
Thanks.
Oh.
Perfect.
So
He's never lax.
Chase is the only one who gets the GMing thing. Just stick it to your players whenever you get the chance.
good.
Oh, okay, all right.
Punish him. Make him suffer.
So, information that you're looking for. This guy also has a bit of a rap sheet, but he seems to have been settled on Prax for a while. He established Cover Your Tracks a couple of years ago.
Does he have to pay a lot of tax?
Yeah.
Actually, the nice thing about this
The tax on Prax.
Prax
Oh,
is pretty
fucking
lax when it
hell.
comes to tax.
Right.
They're the only places that
So
uses fax.
So Prax on
Oh,
Pax
no.
isn't paying a lot of tax
That's right.
on his bar Cover Your Tracks.
That's
Correct.
You get that out all with a straight face. I am proud of you.
I mean, I did flatulent on Keg. I mean,
Yeah, that's true. It's very true.
I'll bet the bar is nicely waxed.
Yeah.
It's
Probably
true.
is.
It probably is.
If you so you're able to even pull up basically like basic street information about that. So now
In
Cassie
her
roll me
hacks.
with her hacks.
Yeah.
Could you roll me your
Guess what street it's on? Halifax.
yeah, Cannon. Could you roll me your test?
It's stunted.
Oh, I did too.
You
I
guys are
have 4.
shit. I'll say that she can stunt because like you can't like
Can't stand on helping.
Yeah. What
I thought I was making a separate test to sift through the information she gathered.
if that's
they
how you want to
gathered,
do
sorry.
it. Yeah, if that's how
Okay.
you want to do it. I thought you were trying
and
to
try
aid
to
her.
gain in tactical intelligence from that.
Of course.
Okay.
Tactical intelligence.
Tactical. So I have a 14.
Okay. Yeah, that you're able to
5 stun points.
what information are you-
Stand by.
While she looks up her stunt, while Wonky looks up her stunt points, what initial information are you trying to find from a tactical perspective about him?
I'm trying to figure out what the best sort of approach is, sort of like we did on the space station in Regina. Like trying to set up a good approach and a good and like if shit hits the fan, what's our best tactical approach?
Okay, so I'm just trying to be clear. Are you trying to get a better approach of like how to approach him as a person, or are you trying to do it like from like a strategic perspective of approaching the building and like if shit hits the fan, like the tactics of like the layout.
The ladder.
Okay, yeah. So you can see that cover your tracks is on Halifax, but
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
but you can tell like the population of Prax is pretty small.
It's pretty lax.
It's pretty small.
Lax.
Lax is relaxed. Like it's pretty
Yeah.
small. You're stretching there. Relax.
I
Relax. But so you can see it is on like
It's
what would
not
be considered a main thoroughfare kind of. So there's a bunch of storefronts. Looking at some like the imagery that's readily available, you know that there would probably be like a back door, the backs, where you could go into the kitchen and all that if you were trying to like go at them tactically.
So Drugel's done her hacks.
And Drugel's on her and Drugel also stunted and had a stunt.
So I have 4. Can I do
Investigation
intuition
stuff.
twice, or should I do down the rabbit hole?
So you did hacks about Prax on Prax.
I did.
With this bar cover your tracks on Halifax.
You're on the planet
I
Prax.
did. But so then never mind. Can I do flashbacks 4 times?
Holy shit! Holy shit!
Gotta give it up.
There it is. There it is.
This is it,
There it is.
guys. This is the content you wanted.
That's right.
Flashback. This
This is how
reminds
you
you of
get
something important.
This is how you get sponsored giveaways from the designers.
Wow.
I don't even. It's not thematic, and it does absolutely nothing for us because I don't know anything.
Let's
about
roleplay
Prax.
all of them out, though. We had to
You-
roleplay out
Oh,
each
Lord.
flashback.
Thanks.
Flashbacks.
Hunter. Do you really want to use flashbacks?
Thanks you off for the bits.
Because you could have been in a similar situation at some point. Isn't that the idea?
It
Or-
just
Yeah.
reminds you of something important you forgot. Treat one of your tangential focuses as a primary one on the next test you make to unlock. Oh, yeah. A lead related to this test. Sure, if this will help me look up drug paraphernalia logos, then absolutely.
Oh, okay?
Because
So
that's
it's even
the thing that I
tangential.
want to do.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
that's fair. Yeah, so that's fair.
If we could use flashback, let's do all 4 points in flashback, and 2 of them lead to something fanatical about Brax on Prax with
Okay.
flashbacks.
Mhm.
Or maybe I'm cracking the cap out or
Flashbacks.
something.
Yeah, sure.
Throw him a bone.
And then, yeah.
All right, so let's do this. So, in terms of talking about Brax on Prax, some of the information that you look up, like this guy just seems like a shyster. Most of his crimes are focused on like stealing and swindling,
Tax evasion.
Tax evasion, yeah. So
He's not paying his tax.
That's right.
you think back to some of the similar situations that you were in, and you're thinking that a person like that doesn't really trust the system, and they probably keep most of their assets as liquid and probably close by. And in terms of the drug thing, you just kind of have like an
So that's the thing that I wanted to do, that
Look
I
into
didn't
the
want
drugs?
to just give
Right.
up everything
Got
for
it.
her thing. So that's my separate thing. It's
Got
a
it.
whole nother box.
We'll cover that one in a segment. And was that it from you, Cassie? Did I
Breakthrough.
Breakthrough. Additional piece of information. Man, these stunts, they really rack up.
It's how
We
players
do-
control their narrative.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, there goes the churn.
We need some. No, we need to play
Reduce the
some-
total
this
number
table
of
needs to play
leads
some
on the
power
path
value
by
cards.
1, jumping to a further point in the investigation immediately.
And you guys did just, how many points is breakthrough?
5, and I had 5 stun points.
You guys just hit a turn
Yay!
spot.
There we go.
The ship blows
Man.
up.
No, it's
Yeah.
the
sheet
curtain
you
falls
covered.
into the engine.
That brig is
Listen.
mighty breezy.
So there's a
It's
roll,
fine,
right? As
I
far
don't
as it's
care.
major or minor?
Yeah, there is. Actually, yeah, I think it just has to go off. Let me
Catastrophic.
check.
So that's coming. The epic.
Oh,
Wait, what?
That's the next 10.
Churn, churn,
Yeah.
churn, churn,
And then
churn,
what's 30?
Churn.
We're on 20
Death.
now.
We're on 20?
Yeah, well, it doesn't
That was
reset.
10.
No, he said
No,
it
it does.
resets.
No,
Oh,
it
it does?
resets every.
It
Yeah,
resets.
We said the
Oh.
exact
Oh.
opposite
Yeah.
of what you just.
Yeah.
No, it never
Oh.
resets.
We literally
Keeps
keep going.
growing.
I thought it did. I thought it kept
Until you
going.
hit a
No.
catastrophic
Resets
one,
every
and then the
session.
game's just
Okay.
over.
All right.
Because it's a different thingamabobber. There's a
So
word.
what would you have to do to get the 30?
You know,
A lot.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
have to
rolled-
do
it's
a lot.
We'd be
So in
forced
my
to
head,
roll
just
stunts.
real quick, it's like it's set to where you encounter the 30s, the higher level you get, because you force more stunts because you have more
Right.
resources.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
true.
So you're not really meant to get them in the first probably 4 to 6 levels.
Well, that's a relief.
Right.
As you guys are doing some of your internet sleuthing at one point, the internet is down for a little bit, like it glitches, but then nothing seems to happen. So,
Suspicious.
was that your breakthrough? You want a breakthrough on Brax?
Yeah, how to approach a situation. What's our best angle?
you
What's
can-
our best method of success in getting our?
When you're doing some of
Our
your
money from
sleuthing,
it.
you see that Brax has actually become pretty involved in a local, like, I guess you'd call it, it's not necessarily a gang, it's like a militia. They call it, like, it's basically like the city watch, so to speak. It's called Stacks. I don't know.
Yeah, there it is.
It's called Stacks.
From gang attacks.
Yeah. And so you basically
Stacks and
see like
racks.
you're seeing some like local chatter on the HoloNet where like it's kind of like how the mob used to like enforce the law a little bit. It's kind of like that where you can pay them for protection and they keep people safe. It's kind of been a to-do since it's such a small and shitty town. And so you know that what information that gives you is that if like action were to break out, there would be armed people around.
Okay. Well, what's my best method of approach?
I told you there's a back door.
A
that
back
you can
door?
go over to.
Okay.
It's a
alright.
storefront with a front and a back door.
Okay. So the best method is to get him at the actual bar and go in the back door.
Right. He lives in an apartment above
That's
the bar.
right. Okay. All right.
All right. Tack.
All right.
That was.
Mine will
we
be
can come
easier.
back to the rest of what I want to do.
Okay. Yeah, like with the time that we have left.
I know.
Tack.
Probably just reinforce our shield.
Okay.
Just relax.
Roll me. I think it's an intelligence engineering test.
Sure.
If you're trying to make it feel better.
It's not great. 9, 10.
Okay. You basically, I would say at this point, like it's got a lot of deep burns and like melted points from the heavy amount of plasma fire it took
Just
before.
trying to keep it from falling apart.
Yeah, you're basically like, putting like Bondo in it and stuff, and
Flex
Cap
seal.
supplies you a little bit more metal.
Perfect.
Thank you, Hunster. That is exactly it. Stacks.
Jeez.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It's canon.
Chat is with us.
That is
Hunter,
canon.
Right.
Hunter, I haven't
Gotta
seen you in
give it
chat
up.
before,
Gotta
but I'm
give it up.
super happy that you're here.
That's right.
Thank
That's
you.
right. We are.
Yeah.
Welcome your family now.
Yeah. Welcome to Dice Priority.
You have just entered the canon of the Cold Suns
I think
universe.
they're maybe from
Okay.
Wormwood at one point.
And so
You didn't
I
know
wouldn't
this
say
part.
that
It's
doesn't
out
take
there
you
already.
super long, but I'm guessing like you socialize with anyone or just kind of hang around the ship. the
Just
rest
hang
of the time?
around, relax,
Okay.
give my bearings.
Okay.
So that kind of ties in with the rest of what I would like to do.
Okay.
Cassie would like to find a moment to talk to Tack.
All right. Let's finish up like with the actual
Sounds good.
interlude things, and then we'll get to a social scene, and then we can get to Prax.
Perfect.
All right. Let's go to deck.
I'll just keep it simple and put everything into training for Constitution.
Okay. So you're in the cargo bay, basically like doing pull-ups. It's like a workout montage.
Mhm.
So I'll say it's the same time frames. You can make 3 tests.
Okay.
Fire.
That's a very high roll. That's a 16.
Nice. What's your stun dice?
5.
Okay.
It's another decent roll. That's 14
Okay.
with
What's
a
your
5 on the stunt die.
nice?
And the last one is a 11.
What's your stun dice?
3.
You get 9 towards your thing. Yeah. I mean, the target, the total's 100, but you know,
Right,
we got
right.
10% of the
Right.
way.
Yeah.
Bit by bit.
So basically, she's a maniac. Just like a workout thing, or like the Rocky montage, you know, doing pull-ups and stuff. Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
As we get stuck on stream. All right, and then Drupal.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Drupal.
So with my flashbacks,
Yeah.
I would like to somehow drop all my dice
Yep.
and learn, knowing that there was a dark, I don't know, port that did drugs and stuff. Let's assume that everywhere has them, so not necessarily Prax, but Harivore, and
Yeah.
then wherever he was from. Because what planet was he taking the shuttle from? We would have known that.
Horrible.
Harivore, that's right.
Mhm.
So he's coming from Harivore. So seeing
Right.
if I can figure out where those drugs came from on Harivore and who's
Sure.
manufacturing them. 'Cause
Absolutely.
It's like,
Roll me an intelligence test.
And flashback says you can treat one of your tangential focuses as the primary one
Then you
on your next test to unlock a lead related to the test.
Then you can add technology, so you get an additional +2.
well, thank God. Okay. Oh, I can re-roll because this is a technology check.
There
Yeah.
you go. There you go.
Nice.
Perfect.
So this is 3,
Flashbacks.
6,
It all comes
7.
together. I love
It's all
stunts.
coming back
stunts are good.
to me
I hated them at first,
now.
but now I love
Yeah.
them.
So it's 14. Is that enough to get me the information I want, or should I
She can
re-roll
re-roll.
and try again?
They can reroll. Might want to reroll. Well, they get to know. They get
Yeah,
to
if it's failed.
The Constitution one wasn't stun, right? I wasn't looking for stuns. That
No,
was-
yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 12. It's still 12, 13, 14. Yeah, that's what it was the first time, right?
Well, I'll give you the information you
Hang on,
got.
it was. Huh? Oh, but I stunted. I got 1. Hold on, let me double check my tiny ass print.
Spend fortune.
Just calm the waters.
Can I calm the waters here? Every time. Every time.
I'm gonna hit him with my hammer. I'm gonna call my one.
So, yeah, when you re-roll, you have to keep the second roll. You get no takesy-backsies. But I get an additional piece of information because I'm a knowledge novice.
Okay. 14, it does give you some good information.
Okay.
So,
So even if I don't have a name, I just vaguely want to know where it's from and what it means and if there's anything else.
so you did see, I would say, if, because I'm guessing Drake, you didn't offer up the whole catalyst thing.
I hadn't had the opportunity, but I did show them the symbol.
Exactly. And she's smart enough to be able to figure Sorry, I apologize. Yeah, they're smart enough to basically backwards engineer that. So within about 5 minutes, you find that means that's the chemical symbol for catalyst. So you start searching around in terms of crime and drugs on Harivore, and you see that roughly a year ago, a new drug showed up on the scene in the city of Noxstad, and it's come to be known as catalyst. No one knows necessarily who's manufacturing it. But you know that the Senator Wendell had vowed that they were going to get to the bottom of this drug problem.
And that's whose son disappeared.
That's who
Whose
sent
son
it.
died.
Was killed by it.
Well,
And
Right,
then
this guy
is
with
there
this
any
drug.
part of town that has a higher concentration of deaths?
Absolutely.
Specifically lightning cover-up kind of deaths. Things that would have been,
Yeah, I got you.
you
Yeah,
know,
1 second.
they vaguely died. We don't want to tell you how.
so the senator's son died because they got in the way of the drug trade or something like
Yeah, so basically, as you look around,
The senators.
the north side of Noxstad is probably the worst in terms of crime and whatnot, and it seems the one that's been the most heavily hit by the drugs, and people have died. Like there hasn't been there are little almost tabloid-esque snippets about strange goings on in Noxstad, but for the most part, it's just a new and somewhat dangerous drug.
Okay.
So-
And at this point, no idea what it's made out of with the sad space internet.
No.
Okay.
It's basically flummoxed the local FDA.
Okay. I mean, and come on, the senator's the bad guy that's making the drugs, and his son figured it out and got in the way. Come on.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. And then have we figured out yet, either individually or as a group, whether or not you have to be source sensitive to use the thing?
Nobody's asked that question.
I'm just trying to make sure that
No one's
if
asked
I
that
didn't
question.
miss it if it came up.
Nope.
Okay.
Would that have been anything I might have learned as part of who has died by the drug, or?
You start to compile a list, like, basically of the reported people who have, like, known ODs to it, and there doesn't really seem to be, from what you can discern, a rhyme or reason to it, yeah.
Okay.
Like, people, like, there are whispers that the Psi Corps and the Office of Naval Intelligence knows what genetic markers to look for in terms of, and this is just, like, hearsay on the internet, that they know what to look for to indicate that somebody is sensitive to the source. But it's never been like Nobel Prize, like, hey, we know how to.
But that
identify
information
people.
is not connected to this drug yet.
Right, exactly.
Okay, those are just
That's just
one's
letting
like
you know.
common piece of information,
Yeah.
and the S is what I asked for.
Exactly.
Got it.
Trying to help you tie it together.
Thank
yeah.
you. And then I don't think I would have done anything else except for like, oh, I forgot what I wanted to buy when we got to Harivore. Don't worry about it. We're good.
Drugs.
Clearly.
Cool. All right. I think Cassie, you said there was a scene that you wanted to have with Tech.
Yeah. So. So what's it like for you? What is your? Do you hear like? Are you conscious like constantly conversing within yourself? Did you consist of a colony?
It's
Like
more.
a bunch of voices all at once coming to some sort of conclusion and
There's some of that. I mean, as far as I know, far we know, everyone kind of has that somewhat, but it's almost like a single thought. All of our neurons are linked and acting together.
interesting.
You know, if each one of us was making our own decisions, it would be very hard to make decisions quickly. So
Before I was blended with my Tok'ra symbiote, it was just me. And I had one idea of consciousness and individuality and identity. Sometimes I wonder about, or I guess we wonder about how much in a way that version of me doesn't exist anymore.
I mean,
The way that kind of
Probably
when you rejoin
still
your hive, like tack as yourself, you won't exist anymore.
we won't exist as a whole, but our memories will be spread apart, and absorbed, and whatever else splits off may have those.
Do you know, does your personality change? Like, how does that all work?
I mean, each colony has their own personality. Changes slightly, but we mostly move with a single purpose.
Well, I mean, because you're separated from the rest of, your people, so you're shaped differently by your experiences here that the rest of your kind don't share, right? So you have to be shaped and molded and changed in that way, right? So
Correct.
when you go back and rejoin, if you manage to or choose to,
Mm-hmm.
I guess you as tack won't really exist in the same way, but you'll influence your hive,
Exactly.
your new hive.
The knowledge will be passed on. It's like a genetic.
Interesting. It's really similar to the way the Tok'ra, the Goa'uld, pass on their genetic knowledge, but I mean, it's not like we have a hive mind or anything. We just,
Very similar.
our line passes down memory through genetics.
Similar, different mechanism for us.
Right. It's really interesting. So do you find it... Have you come across any other Legolos since you've been separated?
A few here and there, but not too many.
Do you find it difficult to interact with them because of your different experiences and everything?
No, not necessarily. Usually we don't stray from the hive for too long. A couple of years, maybe a little more, depending. So most of our base personalities are similar. Thoughts are still somewhat similar.
How long have you been separated?
About 2 years now.
Are you planning on heading back anytime soon?
I mean, we're still heading towards my eventual destination, and once I'm done learning more, then I will eventually head back.
So you'll be separated a lot longer than...
It is a
Is
very,
normal.
very great distance.
So is it... I would imagine it'd be a little bit like a culture shock or something, getting new experiences joined into your hive.
Yes. Just a bit. But there are a
But then
lot
you
of
blend,
us.
yeah?
Yes.
You sort of meld those consciousnesses together.
So, Tay is a planet covered. So, think of it like taking a glass of water and pouring it into an ocean.
Okay. Interesting. So Cassie would like to just sort of continue to converse with Tack throughout the day and maybe some more days and such,
Right.
and just try to increase her communication skills through communicating with entities that she's not entirely used to communicating with.
Yeah, roll me a communication.
Either that or whatever you
That communication makes lots of sense.
Okay, alright.
Is there a specific focus that you're focusing on? Or just
I'm not
communication?
sure. What are your thoughts? Because I don't have the list of focuses in front of me, and
Oh. If you don't have any trained, then just use straight communication.
I have leadership trained, but I don't really
Not
feel
the
like it
same.
applies.
Just roll straight communication.
Deception.
Lie. Deception.
Because
I'm
the
going to use
other,
this conversation to improve my
Manipulation.
deception.
Big communication or perception, empathy.
well,
Yeah,
that's the other thing I was
perception
going to say
and
is either I would like to either try to increase my communication or develop the empathy focus. I don't know how that works.
God, I would say you choose one. Choose which one that you want to focus on.
I'll try to develop a focus and empathy. Does that take longer, or?
It'll take roughly around the same amount, 100 hours. It's like training a muscle.
Yeah, I'll just try to do that.
Right.
Stunting doesn't do it, right? There's no stunting in this?
I just need to know what your stunt points were, but no stunting doesn't.
Okay, alright. I didn't think so. 15? Yes?
What was your stunt die?
Yeah, 15. A 6 on my stunt die.
Nice. Only one more test?
Okay.
Because you said you continued over a couple days.
Yeah.
You spent a little bit of time, like 1 day, 1 or 2 days basically with Rugal on her search, and then the rest of the time basically conversing.
Alright. That time I only had 1 on my stunt die.
Okay.
But I had a total, my total was lower too. 6, 7, 10.
Okay. I'd say that you get 4 towards your
Okay.
goal. Good stuff. That was a fun scene. I love it. I should lock you guys into a small spaceship for weeks at a time off and nothing to do.
I mean,
I feel like it's going to keep happening.
It's
Yeah.
gonna happen, you know.
A lot. Space
One
is
more
big.
time
Next
at
week.
least.
Space is big.
When we
Yeah.
go from Prax to...
Come on.
Herbivore.
Hold on.
Come on.
Herbivore.
can do it.
Because it's
I really
herbivore
can.
without the B.
There you go.
Perfect.
Hey, I know that the capital
I mean,
city is
at least I
Nixstad, which is
wore
the city of
A
night,
good herbivore.
which is blocked by this thing in the sky.
Correct.
So I also would have shared all the information that I found with you guys very freely. So you now know everything I know about what the drug is
Okay.
or isn't, or what I do and don't know.
And same for all the information that I gained technically about how to approach and the stacks that Brax is involved with.
I mean, I could role play it, but it would be a Treebeard moment. So
It's funny.
Well, it took them 12 hours to say good morning, so
Let's continue our tracks towards Prax, where we're
There
going to
we
hunt
go.
down Brax.
yeah.
Right. On Halifax.
Mhm.
Cover your tracks. So you guys, after roughly 10 days, in the morning, I don't know if you guys fall into a similar routine, where Cat Bap comes out bringing, like, basically his version of a hot Siracan breakfast, straight from the microwave. And he says, "They call this one scrambled eggs." And he peels off like the plastic film over the tray, and then he drops it down. You can see it seems to be this like kind of congealed yellowish fluid that resembles eggs. And he like sprinkles some green stuff on the top like this, and then
boy.
he says, "Bon appetit." That's French.
It's got good macros, and Drake will eat it.
Yeah. Tastes like runny eggs.
such a pro.
Gotta stay in shape.
So, I haven't seen Brax in, well, a while. At first I thought he was trustworthy, but obviously you never trust a human. So, from what you've told me.
It sounds like you shouldn't trust anyone.
So
I
he
mean, a lot of people just inherently are varied, and you can't just blanket trust anybody. That's what we're saying.
humans least of all.
Correct.
So, what? Remind me again. He what now? Stole from you,
Yeah. He stole from me.
and we're just trying to get money from him.
Yeah.
The money that you were supposed to get for your self-sealing stem bolts.
Exactly. I fronted the capital and then he ran off with it.
Can I just hack it? Whatever. No, because they're all liquid assets. Shit, I knew this.
Yeah.
I can't just hack his bank account and steal all his money for you.
You also know that would be exceedingly difficult. Like, if there's one thing that they keep very locked down is the bank.
Damn.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
We go
But
from
we could pull a
go
bank
from
job.
working for the Senate to being hunted by the Senate.
Yeah, exactly. The
Which I mean, we will eventually
That
anyway.
micro millijiffy second between
Micro
where he
millijiffy.
takes his credits that he's gotten for the day and transfers them all to the
Damn
bank
it.
so they can be processed means I could steal them.
the goofy division of the Disney branch of the military would come after you in this
No.
dystopian future.
Alright, but before we get completely pulled off air for all of that,
You guys drop a dice.
Yeah, I'll find it.
so
It's in the black hole now.
Oh, it's right here. It went somehow on the other end of my purse.
I would remind everyone that all of his assets are pretty much liquid and that he keeps them nearby.
Oh, good. That means they're easy to transport.
How much does he owe
You
you?
grab
3
it.
bars.
Did we figure out what they currently are? Are they
Plus-
actual physically liquid or just in a
Well-
accountant's term?
You know that gold press. You know that gold pressed nacrodym is like a liquid nacrodym and it's crammed into gold. So it technically is liquid.
He
Oh,
owes,
so
and
that's
salt.
what he has.
Yeah.
Okay.
he owes you 3 bars plus interest.
That's a good point. You know, I was just trying to be fair and get what I was owed. but-
No, you were put out. You weren't able to make your profits on that. So, you can be generous and consider it a loan, but the loan requires interest.
Right.
So we don't even actually have to talk to him. We could just steal from his assets.
Yeah, but, you know, wouldn't it be more fun if you, like, you know,
What is that you're doing right now?
like, you get in
Rough
there.
him up.
Yeah, or
Is
like,
he sitting down
or
his
make
feet
him-
swinging violently right now?
yeah, he's like on the thing. His backpack is
Cat back.
like,
What's
Oh,
that
cat
gif
back.
with the little girl with the brush where she's so mad?
yeah, he's like,
Oh, you're so excited. It's so cute.
just get in there and work him over. a
Okay,
little.
What
so
if
you
I
don't just
verbally work him over?
Stealing, but
I mean, just make him feel bad.
Sure,
He made me
okay.
feel bad.
so we're gonna tie
Right.
him up and then tell him that his hair is shit.
Yeah, you could.
Okay, perfect.
Drake does stun now. That's a thing.
Yeah, of course.
That's stunning.
He is stunning, isn't he?
I am attractive. Listen, I'm like a warrior from like an ancient. Well, I don't know how ancient it is, but like, you know, I'll just like gesture to my plasma sword. Not some kind of common enforcer.
Right. Uh-huh.
So what was that about the moneylenders again?
That was gambling.
Well, clearly you're not the common enforcer. You can actually hit things.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of beneath me.
Well,
You would have fun, and you know it.
It's not my kind of fun.
Okay. Regardless, that's not necessarily what we're signing up to do.
so how do we want to do this? I could go down there and I could just be like, listen, Brax, you owe me money.
Let's just try to steal the bars.
Oh,
I mean, that's actually not a bad idea, is to steal the bars and then go back and let Cat Bap have his conversation. And we can just kind of stand there menacingly.
how do we want to do it? This is your rodeo.
I'll guard Catbap while you all steal the bars or something. Me tackle guard Catbap while the people who can actually. Well, I'm actually pretty good at it, but
Well,
whoever
this
wants
is-
to can steal.
We can just go.
You're
Okay.
probably pretty good at infiltration, huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I think it's what I was trained to do.
Okay,
I
we
can
got a
help
plan.
Yeah.
I can help Cap up with the talking.
Okay,
I'm gonna go in there.
Be muscle.
Lamb based
Yeah.
him.
and then I'll steal.
Yeah.
And I can help get Cap Bap out of there if shit hits the fan for some reason.
They'll never know the bars were gone.
I guess
No.
a strike.
And then I can use the security to pop all the locks
Yeah.
on whatever
we
it's
can
in.
instrumental.
Or here's a thought: what if we hit the latinum? Sorry, the naquidum. Take what Cap Bap's owed, then Cap Bap wanders in and says, "Hey, I want what you owe me."
Is that what I sound like?
No, I'm not trying to do an impersonation
okay.
of you. Sorry.
This is literally what I just said.
But we try to get double.
But once they go for the naquidum, I mean, it's a physical thing. They're gonna be like, "Hey, where's my naquidum?"
We're not stealing all the naquidum. We're just taking what he was owed. That
And
way, if they
then
say no,
more.
we at
Sounds-
least already have it.
It sounds greedy. Let me just grab what there is. But I can just grab as much as I can hold.
All right, whatever.
What you're
That's fine.
suggesting
That's fine.
sounds like stealing.
Well, we are stealing, but we're stealing what's owed.
Correct.
Correct.
Plus interest.
Plus interest.
And then we're
100%
down
interest.
to
Interest. Yeah.
Yeah, let's
So
not
might
do that
be-
part.
So just so we're all on the same page, because I
You're
like
gonna
what you
distract
guys are
him
doing.
while I steal.
Okay.
All right, that works.
Perfect.
And what do we do if he legitimately decides to give me what he owes me?
Oh shit! Catbat.
No.
I
Don't
don't
throw
foresee
wrenches
that
in.
happening.
Well, he hasn't yet.
I will. I think on my feet, and I will react in the moment in in an interesting and theatrical way, which will please anyone watching.
That sounds,
And we'll definitely not include murdering everybody there.
that
Which
sounds,
will please everyone watching.
that sounds like a great idea. All right, well, you know what? I'm excited. Get down
It'll be
there,
fine.
and who knows? Maybe he'll give us a reason to just work him over a little bit.
As he gets up and starts to.
Catbat. We're not working him over.
I'm saying
He's not a hardened criminal. I mean, he stole from him. He's not like a murderer. Or
Yeah, I'm just saying if you okay.
He's a charlatan. He's not
Yeah.
a thug.
These people can be reasoned with.
I mean,
You see
Pressure.
him
what damage
he like
is he gonna do? Let him do
he
it.
slowly walks and you can see
I
his
mean, we're not
large
going.
oversized arms dragging on the floor as he
waddles into the cargo bay. He's like,
He
fine.
just wants to beat
I
someone
mean, if you
up.
want to walk in and slap him, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Don't need to go over the top.
They're actually pretty. Ungoi are actually pretty strong.
Yeah. You could kill him.
He could kill him. They're like really strong.
And he's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
4.5 by
yeah,
5
small.
feet tall. He's
They're
just like
big.
260 pounds. I'm like,
Solid muscle. Yeah. That's why I'm not letting him.
with natural
kind of-
claws.
Yeah. I'm aware. Because he's small and has a funny voice doesn't mean he's not lethal.
What's the... What kind of individual is Brax?
Brax is a human.
Oh, just a human. Never mind. Maybe don't slap him.
Oh, you know what? We'll pay it fast and
I
loose
should
when
have
we
just
get
let it
there.
happen.
That's right.
So, Cat Bat, after you guys exit slip space on the edge of the Prax Prime system, charters in. I think he's like, there's not even really like a central transfer authority here. It's out in the middle of nowhere. It's just kind of a space between two big places. So we'll be there in like an hour. There's no speed limit really. So he very quickly brings you into the orbit of Prax. Let's see. Where did you go?
So is everybody but Cassie and Catbap going on the infiltration mission?
I'm also going to. I'm not infiltrating.
Oh, you're not. You're gonna sit with
Are
me.
you infiltrating or are you fighting?
I'm infiltrating.
Perfect.
Alrighty.
So you'll probably go too because you'll need to hack into things. Okay. So 3 and 2. Well,
Yep.
3 and 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
Because you can.
So
talk.
I have 6 comm units. So we will lend one to Catbap.
I would just like to say that this side of the table is existential crisis.
Yeah, a little bit.
I forgot to
yeah.
mention it. Memory issues and existential
Team
crisis.
existential bullshit. Yeah.
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 Just want to mention that.
I
So-
mean, Drew
Team
Lucas
identity
comes from
crisis.
a happy home and just wanted to see the world and ended up with you fuckers.
That's right.
Mistakes are made.
You made poor choices.
Can't wait to find out your tragic backstory.
I don't have one.
You're living it. Just like Gilly.
There's
Gilly
always-
doesn't have a tragic backstory. She's living her tragic
Yeah, it's
backstory.
happening. There's always one.
That's
Or
right.
they're just living it.
That's right. You're living yours.
You approach, if any of you look out the main view screen, or because there's really not a lot of windows on the ship, you approach the planet. It's one of about 7 in the system. You can see that it has 3 small moons that appear to be little more than overly large asteroids. The planet has a dusty brown color with several clustered green oceans. And you can see that in the far distance, 2 hazy red suns twinkle. He says, "Well, there's no orbital station, so we're just gonna have to land on the planet. But the ship should be fine, unless
You can lock the doors, right?
yeah,
Okay.
Seal the brig.
right. You want to take her down?
Yeah, I was already in the seat.
Yeah, make the ship yours.
Fucking get that.
We can set up alerts in case the stasis chamber that what's his face is in.
Yeah.
There's a rod
Right.
Okay.
17.
17.
Or
Okay.
someone
Yeah.
unlocks the ship.
So basically, you
Yeah.
bring it
Any
down,
of those
and
things.
the
Touches the
atmosphere is
engine.
actually pretty. I wouldn't say thin,
The sheet
but it's
around the
placid.
engine.
Is a good way to describe it. There doesn't seem to be a lot of activity in the stratosphere. So there's a couple of bumps and whatnot as this large boxy light freighter lowers down. You can see on the outside of the view screen, it starts to turn bright red as you push through the atmosphere. But eventually, as you get through the upper parts of it and the shuttering kind of settles down, you can see that below you is a small settlement. You can see the twinkling of lights. You can, from your vantage point high in the atmosphere, you can see where the night light line is slowly moving as dusk and twilight hits the city, and you can see lights coming on below you.
Okay.
You can see, pulling up, what to look for. There's a beacon for a small airstrip just on the edge of town. You easily bring the ship down after I would say it takes you about 20 minutes to lower descent and all that.
Okay.
After you Oh, I need to change the
Music?
The sound. Yeah.
Is it gonna be really loud?
No, I don't think so.
Once we land, I will break meditation. Open one eye.
So after the ship lands, Cat Bap says, I don't think that there's anything that you guys need to be inoculated for here. I think it's good.
It's good to know, I guess.
So
It would have been nice to know that days ago.
It didn't come up in the research, so it must not have been serious.
where it says at least nothing airborne as he like puts in his methane mask and hits the button, and then and you
Open the door to the brig.
the large brig door opens, and you can see, and the sound of the nightlife comes in. The smell that permeates your nostrils is one of dampness, and it has kind of like a slightly sweet like aroma to it. You've gotten pretty used to this, but like even though the planets are similar and may have things that look similar to the planets that you evolved on, like your brains are just trying to make heads or tails of the chemical cocktail that's out there. So sometimes you're like, man, that smells like oranges, and it's like an animal that looks like a dog. So you guys get off the ship, and he says, you can see like flashing lights and whatnot, and there's basically like a little automated stand where you can plug in to refuel the ship, and you have to put in some credits in order to use the station. So he walks over and he's like, don't worry, I got this, as he like starts to plug it in. You can see in the distance, probably 3 football fields away, is the twinkling of lights, and you can hear just in the distance the sound of music and whatnot from the town. It's like, well, I think that we can like summon one of those like auto skiffs, or we could walk, whichever one.
How far's the walk?
It's like 600 yards.
I don't know what that means.
It's like 3 football fields.
Alright, I'll walk.
Yeah, it's like
That sounds
it's
walk.
like-
18, roughly 2,000 feet, I'll walk.
It's like half a mile.
I don't know what that means either.
So he's
2 clicks.
What's
I don't
football?
know.
Is there still football in space?
How
Or
much
is
is a
it
click?
Football.
Yeah, exactly.
We're there.
So he's walking along with you. It's like, yeah. And hey, isn't it great? It's nighttime, so maybe
When I was a young man, we used to do this game when we traveled long distances. It was called the Quiet Game.
I've
Well,
played that
what's
one.
that? That sounds interesting.
We just try to exist in total silence.
The first person to break the silence loses.
Oh, I'm really competitive. I bet you I can win.
Alright, good.
I'd like to see that.
You're on.
He's kind of the best, though.
Has it started yet?
Yes.
You lost.
No.
We're starting over. You didn't win, you just didn't lose. Alright. Go.
You lost.
On your marks, get set, go.
He starts walking forward. So as you guys approach town, not that one. You can hear music and whatnot from the nightlife. You reach the edge and you can see a simple sign that says Prax, and it has a digital population counter, and it says 3,256.
Small town.
You lost.
That scene is over. I was just trying to get Catnap to shut his mouth. God damn it. Fucking Jack. Oh gosh, someone clip that. Oh, all right.
So you see, as you enter the edge of town, the buildings are small, and you know that there are clusters of other settlements and stuff on the planet, but this is truly it's a planet without much to offer in terms of natural resources, and it's not really in an important area. The only important thing about it is it's not even relative proximity to the Unified Authority. You can tell that the dim glow of automatic lights have started as dusk hits the city, and as you walk along and you enter what is a paved street, you notice that not only the streets but the buildings themselves have a very odd architecture, and they appear to be made of a weird crystalline type of material. Can anyone roll me? I guess it would be like an intelligence, just a straight intelligence, or yeah. I think anyone has a relevant status.
Okay.
17.
17.
Just straight intelligence.
Yeah.
Would Traxing work here?
Traxing.
I have a 12.
12. And you have a pretty large circumstantial boon because of the nature of this. So you recognize inherently, and you know
Tokra crystals?
From your yeah, exactly.
That's it. Yep.
This is made from Tokra crystals. It's technology that the Tokra use to form things. So
What the hell's a
What,
Tokra?
what I have living inside of me. Alright,
Oh.
my symbiote.
How would I ever know that?
They're an offshoot of the gold.
What
They
the fuck's a
rejected-
gold? What are these terms you people keep using?
If you would stop interrupting, I could elaborate.
I'm just saying.
how does he not
trying
know
to
what
elaborate.
gold is?
Yeah, I don't know either. They were so the gold are a parasitic race.
And he stares up
Okay.
at the
They live
distance,
inside
pretending
people's
to listen.
skulls
Okay.
and control their beings. The
Okay.
Tokra are so the Goa'uld were an oppressive, like they would take over their hosts and rule through fear and technological oppression.
Yeah.
The Tokra were a rebellious offshoot of the Goa'uld who didn't agree with that sort of existence.
Mm-hmm.
And resisted and tried to fight for, peaceful
Yeah.
coexistence rather than the oppressive BS that the Goa'uld stood for. The Goa'uld have been, as far as we're aware, eradicated, and the Tokra are the only remaining.
But they're both parasites, right?
Well, symbiotic for the Tokra.
Okay.
There's a distinct different philosophy. I'm, for instance, Cassie O'Neill, blended with the consciousness that is Cal Jarrell.
Okay.
So we two are one blended consciousness.
That's confusing.
For ease of everybody else's peace of mind and just everything else, I just introduce myself as we introduce ourselves as Cassie, as one single being known as Cassie.
All right. I knew that stuff already, but the other terms, people just fly them around like we're all
Well,
supposed-
I'm
like
trying
we're
to
all supposed
elaborate.
to know. I get that now. So
All
the
right.
gold bad. What were the other ones?
Tokra,
Tokra, less fine.
symbiotic. So
Cool.
All
right. And these are Tokra crystals.
Yeah. So these are crystals that the Tokra employed to kind of engineer their hideouts.
Okay.
Our places where we would kind of stage our rebellions and
Okay.
hide out so that the Goa'uld didn't wipe us out.
I get you.
Got pretty damn close, but
All right. Continue.
I'm only me.
I like to picture Drew go directly behind us, like the hot breath.
just like
On your
in
neck.
this voice, disappointed that they are only a single entity of consciousness.
Well, since I won the big quiet game,
Yes.
No, Dakiri won.
It is Expanse. It's
Because
a sci-fi
Dakiri
convergence.
still hasn't spoken, but you just broke before Dakiri did, so Dakiri won.
I thought you could only lose and no. Never mind.
You're welcome.
you don't win if you don't play.
It's also got some Halo mixed in, some other IPs that we're not.
I
mentioning.
noticed your silence.
And I'm so glad, Happy Caster, that you like this, because it's like
I have no idea what any of this means, so I played a character with memory issues.
Catbap will chime in. He's like, and the Goa'uld were literally like they ran the Covenant. They were like the main bad guys.
Yeah, they use it's
Basically,
they had the technological advantage of the
The founders. Oh, wait, I
what
don't
was
know.
it in? What was it in the Covenant? What was the Prometheans?
What?
What was the technology that they found? Because they scavenged.
Forerunners?
The Forerunners.
Forerunners, yes.
I mean,
So
I
they
don't know that.
Yeah.
So the gold scavenged technology, they didn't actually do it themselves. They scavenged technology
Forerunners.
that they found from other people, like the ancients and the Forerunners.
All right, I'm done with the history lesson. I just want to know what the hell a few of those terms are. Thank you.
Anytime.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I'm just like running now. Towards the Come with me, Dakiri.
So, as you guys reach Halifax,
Lore, no more lore.
Turning
No
into
more
just
lore.
a ball and rolling down the...
hey, we know that at least Hunster and Happy Caster are absolutely loving all the lore.
That's right.
Thank
That's
you.
That is
true.
true.
I could talk to you
We're
about it for
banning
hours.
He will.
We
We're
gotta wait
banning
another
you.
20 minutes before I remind him that we all turned into pumpkins.
Right.
So you are on Halifax Street, and you can see like there's a bit of a nightlife. There's not a whole lot to do in this backwater shithole town, and so
Except
there's
cover your tracks.
there's a lot of merriment and whatnot. And you can see there is a flashing neon sign in the distance with the S's is actually kind of like half illuminated, and you can see cover your tracks, and you can hear that there is numerous people inside.
So you want to go around back, folks?
Yeah, and I'll pull up whatever the map or schematic
Do you have
is.
to like be inside to do the hacking, or just near? Okay.
Close enough to poke it.
Then you're my girl Friday here.
So the three people who are trying to go to the back, if you're trying to be stealthy or surreptitious, roll me a dexterity stealth check.
First, however, before we roll dexterity stealth, I'm going to invoke the power of the source. I do make it. I do stunt.
Of course.
I need to go from a 2 to a 4 on my stunt dice. Is that 4 points?
You have a
Yeah.
plus
No,
one.
on your
no,
stunt
8.
dice?
Yeah.
It's double.
8.
It's 8 for stunt dice.
Fucking do it. I spend
Oh,
8
boy.
fortune, and I will make us both invisible.
Oh, alright.
You want me to heal you before you go?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
And now we can roll stealth.
Perfect.
What does that do to our stuff?
Hey, I used this in fire. When I ran my fire
It's nothing. It's just we're invisible.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not knocking over like cans and stuff. And if you're stealthing back there with them, you're not invisible, but you're going with them. All right.
I've got 10.
10,
17.
17?
15.
And what were your guys' stunt dice?
2.
5.
1.
Okay. So I will say that Drake and, well, they're invisible, but Drake and Takiri are basically just like shifting light. Drupal is a little bit less dexterous, but pretty unassuming looking. And you manage to kind of navigate your way to the back alley. You can see that there's a guy out there kind of drunkenly taking a piss behind a dumpster. As you walk by, he says, "Hey, you got any good shit?" As you walk by.
Can I whistle?
You can.
Sure, then I would just
That's all you
continue
can do.
walking and whistle.
Yeah, fuck you too then. As you walk by, not even aware that there were two very lethal and invisible creatures.
Did you hear
And this is all you guys can hear in the comms is me trying to whistle in a back alley.
When you said, "Can I whistle?" Like that's all you could do. Push air.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just surprised that Drupal didn't take him literally and give him good shit.
Well, I
Um,
don't have any drugs.
You guys come up to the back.
No, I got you.
Good shit. Just so literal.
Oh,
You guys make it to the back of the bar, and I would say Cassie, Drake, and Catbap approach the front.
Alright, I put my hand on Cat Bap's
Okay.
shoulder before we head in, and I just say, alright, now, remember, if all goes a bit easier, if we don't get into an all-out brawl, I can't guarantee I can get you out of here alive if it goes to shit. Remember, he's got powerful buddies.
Who are you talking to me?
Yeah, cat bat.
Okay, I didn't catch that. Oh, okay, fine. 8.
So I'm great with giving him a verbal dressing down, and I can absolutely help you do that. But our goal is to walk out of here alive with our money.
Yeah.
With our
Okay.
Well, I
The
mean,
entrance.
we're helping him get the money as an exchange, so it's technically like our exchange. Yeah. So,
Gotcha. I understand.
all right.
He puts his finger to his. Oh.
I'll put my hand on Cat Map's
There
shoulder.
we go. We just each have a hand on Cat
We'll,
Bab's shoulder.
we'll get you out alive.
Well, I appreciate that.
We believe.
Which mask do you have on?
The happy one.
Okay.
This
When
is
do
supposed
you-
to be impressionable.
have
like
you-
we're supposed to.
When and how do you switch masks?
I don't know. It kind of just like goes in, and then like another one comes out.
Oh, I always thought it was like digital.
No,
Oh, that'd be cool.
it's like an actual physical.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then you see Cat Bap like puts his finger to the side of his head and he says, "Cat Bap to goal leader. We're in position." He's talking to you guys. You can't
I'm
get away
ignoring
from it.
whatever's going on over there. We're going in. We're looking for this stuff.
All right, so you guys are at the back door. You see that there is essentially like a screen door, and you can see what appears to be like an illuminated key card thing. It's locked. So first, I would like for you to make me a intelligence security test if you're going to try to overcome it through what is that called? Skullduggery.
Is this considered hacking?
It is considered hacking.
Yay. Okay. So, yes.
Hacks.
I know. So that's 14 from my dice.
Nice.
Plus 5 from my intelligence. So 19. Plus 2 from security.
There you go.
So that puts me at 21. Plus 1 from my hacking ability.
Dear Lord.
Puts me at 22.
You know, it's just not enough.
So
It really just isn't.
like
But I did not stunt, so it's just a straight 22.
Spend 12
Well,
fortune
you know.
to make your stun dice
spend 12 fortune. Just dying.
Withering away as she had.
I just survived becoming injured and fatigued.
Yeah. So you like literally the technology and the security on this thing is so pathetic, so asinine. You feel like if it was any worse, you could have hacked it with like with your radio. You get what I'm saying? Drake and Dikiri, like she walks up and it just kind of like swings open like half a second later.
Okay, we're invisible. Go in.
Okay. So you guys find yourselves in basically there's a tile floor. You can see it's a little wet with the light spilling across it, and you hear commotion and stuff of people drinking, carousing in the bar area. You feel like you're in the back area that leads to the dumpster. You can see you're in kind of a narrow hallway, and there's a door to your right that says employees only. And then onward you can see like the lights and the back of the bar and the crowd.
Yes.
Boys only.
Yeah, we can check there first. He probably keeps some money. I mean, like it's a bar, right? So safe, cash bar kind of thing.
So I knew where he was keeping his liquid assets.
Just not like specific location. You knew that he would keep them close by.
But it's a bar, like
But- and you also-
the back office. Yeah.
Right. You also remember that he lives above the bar.
Yeah, those are our two. Yep. Mhm. So going in the back office first, see if he's got anything in the safe, kind of thing.
All right.
Just kind of lumber in and then.
All right. You're gonna enter as well. All right. Everyone, make me another dexterity stealth check.
And Kiri and I are actually hidden from you.
Oh, stunted.
What are your totals?
18.
14.
9.
That's great. I love it. And you stunted?
I stunted.
So if I'm
What-
seen, I have a plan.
What stunt are you gonna use? Infiltration.
Calm them.
I am going to do both cover your tracks and calm the waters for one.
Calm the waters, you asshole.
That's what we need.
So as you guys are walking in, you're clear, and a person kind of is walking by the kitchen. And they stop and they look down the hallway. They're like looking straight through you, as you are invisible. And they say, "Hey, bathroom is this way."
And I'll
gesture
start
to you.
lumbering that way.
Yeah. There's a sign, and you see that there's a sign that it shows like the silhouette of like man, woman dressed like Unglory. So it's got like 3 rows.
What?
Because it's the bathroom. And it shows you like instead of a man and a woman, it shows a bunch of different species.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
It's accessible.
Yeah, it's accessible.
Okay.
Well, there's one bathroom.
It seems like it would be easier to just write everyone.
Right. Well,
Or the word toilet.
Right.
Water closet?
Water closet. Yeah.
Waste collection.
So as Drugel starts to lumber towards the bathroom, are you guys going to wait for it? Or are you guys going to try to
No, we're
overcome
dumping
the
in the
lock?
office.
All right. So you find you and the door is locked.
The
Can
code
I
word?
access the whole system from anywhere in the building, pretty much?
These kinds of things you pretty much have to like it's so dumb. It's not like they've installed smart locks.
Did the person walk away?
They were kind of like they're behind the bar watching where you go. You could try to overcome it physical means too. This isn't like a digital lock if you want it.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, I'll
So
do
if you
that.
guys-
But by the way, the code word for us in case they are going to need like us to make a commotion in the bar is fuck it up.
Well, we're literally waiting for you all to start your negotiations.
Right, but if for some reason you need
I understood that. I'm
Could
saying
use a distraction now.
This-
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You could use a distraction now.
Yeah.
Yes, you could. All right, you guys.
Like-
if you guys take the lead. So maybe you hear that because now the guy's kind of watching a little bit, and you're like in the bathroom, but you're like, well, we kind of want her to come back and help. All right, yeah. So
Yeah, we whisper to Cass.
them.
So I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right, we're going in. And he kind of like waddles and pushes the 2 like swinging doors open. You can see like several of the people in the bar all kind of like stop to look at the person who just like aggressively pushed the doors open.
Nice.
And he says, "Brax, where are you? You emaciated piece of shit!"
Oh boy.
Jesus quesadilla.
Yep. You cheeseless quesadilla.
I have
Fucking-
something to say to you, you flaccid asshole.
Oh boy.
Do we want to call it there?
Yeah, exactly. So, with that,
That's where we'll go next week.
that's what we're going to call it.
Oh, no.
Oh, I can't wait for Cat Bap to just kind of
Yes.
have this moment.
You are the loneliest crawdad in the hill. Good
That's
sir.
right. That's right.
All right, guys. Before we
Get on out of
call
here,
it, we
Crisco.
are going to do the giveaway. So this is your last chance
That's
to
right.
enter.
Put that on there,
Mr. Puddins, make it a trifecta, or maybe
Yeah,
not.
Mr. Puddin's enter. No
keep
one.
going,
These are
yeah.
giveaways. You can.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, it's a different giveaway.
If you show up and enter a giveaway,
You're
you know
eligible.
that is up to everyone else. They show up, do what you want to do, my mans. And thank you again, Mr. Puddin's and Chromatic Chimera for a raid. I hope Steam spell went well.
Yeah.
As I understand it, they were facing off against I think it's called the Seer, which the image they used was of the Star Spawn Seer
Yeah.
that I had used. So I don't know if it's
Oh,
the same
no.
monster
no.
that wrecked your guys' shit.
Glorious.
Yeah.
Kill justice. So. Hope
Pure
that went
pressure.
well.
All right, Simwa entered it. Pure pressure.
You should have
calm
several
yourself.
entries, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got a bunch.
Thank
right
you
now.
for everyone who tuned in.
Hunster,
thanks
you.
Straticus for the raid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did Hunster
Oh my
just do?
gosh. Just shared
Aw.
3 rewards to 3 others in chat.
Awesome.
Aw,
Thank you
Thank
for the
you.
200 bits.
Thank you for the bits.
This was great.
Guys, I really
Yeah.
appreciate. I love the lore, and so it makes me so happy when anyone like that.
I literally have no idea what any of these words mean, so I'm assuming half the audience doesn't.
And half of them.
No,
do
that's
that.
for sure.
That's fair, yeah.
That's fair.
Do we want to go around and share our favorite moment while we wait for last
Yeah.
entries?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have Liz start.
I'm also just talking about the lore. Like, there's so many mashups in this that we have
Yeah.
going on. It's such a sci-fi convergence that,
Mhm.
like, you're right. We really do have to kind of explain where everything comes
Right.
from.
I didn't realize the
How it all fits in.
Goa'uld
Right.
were part of the Covenant.
Because
Yep.
I
Well,
finally
They're not originally, but like in this
Right.
world
Yeah.
now they are. Like
Yes.
different history things that happened in SG1 or in Halo or something are different in this particular world, which is neat.
Yeah, so favorite moments is not necessarily from us, actually, from chat. So with Happy Capster and Hunster, sorry, this new Twitch layout, even
Horrible.
my eyes
Yeah,
is
it's not great.
Yeah.
It's not great.
everything's so
Tiny.
busy.
Tiny.
You guys coming in and really enjoying that lore and interacting with us in chat while we can, and correcting my lore because I evidently don't know how to spell Dracolite, and that might be why Google didn't tell me anything about their whole planet.
There's no pound sign in Dracolite.
The A is an A, not an at symbol.
No, neither of them are A's. They're all E's.
She put dollar
So
signs.
I really
Dollar signs instead of
Excellent.
S's.
How do you internet? So
Like
I
Keisha.
appreciate that interaction and being able to learn something about things that I know nothing about because I'm just playing in a system that sounded like fun.
Woo.
My favorite moment shifted like throughout the night. It kept on getting better and better. I love the scene between Cassie and Tack talking about Tack's origins. I think the "You Lost" clip has been my
That was
favorite though.
fucking cool.
That was amazing. That was my favorite. So good.
How about you, Pyro?
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing, but Cat Bab busting open the door
So
and
good.
the whole like
That was.
cracks backs.
Yes! Oh God!
Halifax Avenue.
Stacks.
And I believe Halifax is actually a cul-de-sac.
Yeah, cul-de-sac.
Yeah, except for the
Calls
plural.
to sack.
Cul-de-sacs.
Cool.
When you sacks.
How about you, Cassie?
I mean, a lot of those that have already been listed, yeah. I really. I also, okay, so one that hasn't been mentioned yet is, how do you know you're not a clone?
Woo!
Boy, howdy!
Drake was like up that night, just like, oh no.
Don't let the existential dreads.
Yeah, vacuum the rug.
Yep,
Like you all
yep,
saw Drake
yep.
cleaning that night.
Yep.
Everyone was up cleaning. They're like, you too, huh?
Yep.
I mean, technically, Dracolite are really just clones of other
Oh, no.
Dracolite.
Oh,
So
no.
We're all clones. There's a whole nother
So
ship
great.
out there.
Yeah, so that was probably, I'll put that up there along with the cat bat bust in and the you lost and the conversation between Cassie and Tack.
Awesome.
There were so many good moments.
Yeah, it was fun.
What's left for you?
My favorite moment was actually that version of me doesn't exist anymore. I thought that
Yeah.
was pretty sick.
That was
Yeah.
I was like, shit.
that's deep shit.
Yeah, no, that was my favorite. For me, with my love of existential horror and philosophy, it's like that was
Oh,
baller.
thank
Thank you,
Episode
Monster.
Monster,
Thank you for the
you are
gifted
so
subs.
great.
That's so awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
There's so many subs and shit tonight. It's so great.
Yeah, really, we love our community. Y'all are the reason we've come a long way, and we just love having you all here. Thank
right,
you for
that's
your
right.
contributions in every little way.
And yeah. Okay.
What was
so,
yours?
I mean, my gosh, like everything that you guys said was great. I loved that there were a bunch of like lore drops and deeper lore drops and little like threads getting pulled of things, and it all happened very organically through like your conversations and everything.
Yep.
And then just like the chat has been really involved, and I'm not pandering to it. It's just like,
Pander away, they love it.
But like, but people like getting excited about the stuff and like being
It's so
like
good.
is just so energizing, and I love it all. So I said earlier, I said DM me, we'll talk about. I'm serious. If you ever want to talk about any of this stuff,
Hop out in the Discord,
literally
too.
join our
Yeah.
Discord.
Join our Discord. We have a whole conversation about this happening in,
in
our
the age
age
of.
channel.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, and Chase makes everything weird, but people have the same interests as you, Chase.
That's
It's
true.
okay.
Chase will go on for hours. He literally has like
Please take him off our
gigabytes
hands.
of folders and documentation.
You don't
on,
live
like,
with
all
him.
of this.
Don't even.
We didn't make
Don't
your
live
So-
with
choices.
him.
Amazing.
We've
Wonderful.
learned from you. We didn't make your choices.
Because we use the Age RPG channel to actually kind of discuss our like non-proprietary this show stuff, like any
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
little
yeah.
report. And just because it might be between us, because it's like feel free to chime in, feel free to ask
Yeah.
questions
Oh,
over
yeah.
there. So
yeah, exactly. Like earlier, the group was like, "Well, what do we buy?" It's like
Yeah.
it's a wide open sci-fi world.
Yeah.
What do you want to buy?
and we use
You
a
know?
public channel because it's a public conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, well, with that, let's do the giveaway.
Yeah.
Reward
So last
our
30
wonderful
seconds.
friends.
Put in the
Drum roll.
giveaway.
And
Yeah.
then should we raid Scraticus
Of
to
course,
return
yeah.
the
If
favor
somebody
of the
wants
raid?
to, if someone wants
I'll
to
I'm
be
not
on
do
good
the
that,
with
raid.
drum roll. Drum roll.
Drum roll.
Drum roll. Draw.
For the modern age compendia.
Psychotic Monk.
Nice.
Oh,
Psychotic
yeah!
Monk.
I didn't even see that they were in chat.
Yeah, I didn't see
Probably
them there.
lurking.
Yeah.
all
Lovely
right.
Psychotic Monk is a recent addition to our community. They're just great.
Yeah,
and
they
hangs
are
out a
awesome.
lot in Alexis Attempts art, which is
Yeah.
thank you.
Guys.
Makes that great.
This has been awesome.
That's so awesome.
And hey, I heard from a little birdie that we might be doing this for another episode or two than we
yeah,
originally
an
planned.
extra, at least one
Nice,
extra episode.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Very cool.
all right, guys, we're gonna raid. We're gonna do the outro video.
Outro video and then do the raid.
Yeah. Let me go
All
over
right.
to Streamlab.
So
Thanks, guys.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you,
We'll see
everyone.
you all here again next week, same time, same place.
7 p.m. Central.
And show some love to
Yep.
Scraticus.
They're
We'll
great.
see you next week.
Thanks,
Take
guys.
care.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.